All right, all right. We are live. We are live. Okay, shalom, shalom. I'm your brother Dawiyat.
Shalom, Brother Lasha.
Brother Amiatio.
Okay, we're SOT, Sword of Truth Bible School, of course. Much love and appreciation to SOW out there in Houston, Virginia, and New York, of course. Much love to Kawakab, camp founder out of Guatemala. And I'm outside in London. Then, of course, there's different schools in LA, Judah, parts of Georgia, parts of Canada. Much appreciation and love to everybody online that consistently watches our classes. Much appreciation to y'all, of course, especially, because y'all definitely are a good motivation to keep writing classes and to keep staying productive, So we thank y'all for that. For years we've been teaching the Bible, but we never did the internet. We never made it an online thing. But it's a blessing to have the internet community and spread the information online. That's a blessing. That's much appreciated. We're going to go with the continuation of the last week's topic, which was rebirth through knowledge. This is the part 2 of that subject, and we'll continue in that. But Shabbat Shalom to everybody watching, and much appreciation to y'all. Okay, so let's go back into our topic, back into our information. I know the basis of the class in the very beginning was we always talk about how people have issues that are reactionary. Everybody's reacting to an event in their youth. Everybody's reacting to an emotional statement. Everybody's reacting to, my health is bad, so my body feels bad, so I act this way because my body feels this certain way, depending on the age that you're at. Or I'm stressed out in my house, and my marriage is stressing me out, so I'm under stress. This is what I do to relieve my stress. These are all elements of things that we have to change. But when you get to the root of a problem, the root of a problem comes, the information or the idea that we rebel for or we chase is based off a certain idea. We never get to the real root of why we do what we do. It's always based on some type of knowledge, some type of misbelief, which is a false belief or a false idea, or some type of fallacy. Fallacy is a false idea or an idea that doesn't work in reality. It might apply in your mind and it's real in your mind, but in reality it doesn't apply with people or situations. And what the blessing of being within the camp is that you have to, as the scripture says, iron does what? Sharpens iron. So when you interact with people bring you back down to earth, including teachers. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to isolate and believe your own conversation, your own internal conversation. That's easy. But when you're around people, when you function around people, the Most High uses people as a check and balance system to keep us all humble and to keep us all realistic. When a person isolates and a person has too much time away from other sheep, it's easy to be infected with emotion, infected with compulsion. What is compulsion? Overwhelming drives and energies that could be animal-based or just thought-based that push us into a wall, that push us into another bad decision, that push us into a domino effect. Okay? So we're trying to find ways, the SOT, to quicken people's growth patterns. We don't have a lot of time. We don't have the 90s. We're not here since the 90s. This waste time. We have to grow. Every generation that comes to the camp technically has to grow faster than the last generation in the camp. And why is that? Because you have less time. From COVID happening to the World War III breaking out overseas and the beginnings of World War III already set up on a military scale, and we're going to go into that later on. We talk about it all the time. But don't you think there's less time to get right in the last generation?
Right.
There's less time. I always tell brothers, and I know brothers, it's an old statement, but if you want to rebel or you want to quit and you want to live your life, you should have did it in the 90s. You should have did it when it was all good. It was all good back then. You could have did what you wanted to do, and it probably wouldn't have been no major. So your life would have crashed, but as far as the world collapsing, you would have been all right. You had plenty of time. You had time to get your wickedness out, right? This time, brothers don't have time to explore and experiment and figure out what they want to do. And I'm not sure about God. That time period, that window of experimentation and the window of flirtation with negative and flirtation with, just I gotta find myself and identity issues. But those days are over. Those days are way over, and we're in a different season. Real quick, let's go to Ecclesiastes, or Steve's in the Bible, Old Testament, chapter 2. And we'll go into our topic. Chapter 2, verse 1. Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes.
Uh-huh.
The Bible.
The Bible. Yep.
Chapter 2, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
It says, I said in mine heart, go to now. I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore, enjoy pleasure.
So listen, a lot of people are trying to find themselves, man, and trying to find their happiness. And this chase and this pursuit of happiness, this is what people do to stabilize themselves. But the scripture says, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time. It truly says that. Knowledge and wisdom is intangible. It's just the words on the page, believing the words on the page, and applying the words on the page. It's intangible, but it gives you stability. But naturally, man, read verse 1 again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1. I said in mine heart.
This is what people say to themselves. Read.
Go to now. I will prove thee with mirth.
I'm gonna see what makes me happy. That's the conversation that if people want to tell the truth or not, every single individual is in the search for what's going to make them happy. And they call it the what? Pursuit of happiness. And the negative aspect of that is, in this pursuit of happiness, what form of pleasure is going to make you feel good about you? Normally, those pursuits, whether it be fame, appraise, validation from people, financial stability, physical, peak physicality, fashion style, hierarchy in the job, echelon on the job, leverage over other people, to be knowledge and to be learned. And it feels good to be a very learned man. Those are all still vain pleasures. Because the root of our classes go back to the only truth in life is service. And that's not the topic of the day. But the real substance of life, the true substance of life that will make you feel good long term, is finding joy in the serving of other people, finding joy in the advocation for the weak, finding a way to benefit your nation, benefit your God, and benefit others. In our natural role, that's what brings true happiness. But the society and the world we live in pushes the idea of pursue your happiness, but pursue it through what? Through the flesh. That's external. That's the Greek Western culture way of finding happiness. All right, but if you go into Eastern cultures and Eastern philosophies, they go into finding happiness within, which is long-term meditation, isolation from people, and going deep within your spirit, exploring your chakras, and mastering a discipline. But that is still not the path to enlightenment either. That's your Eastern, Hindu, Vedic, and Buddhist concept. But it's still not the concept the Most High has.
That's like that self-betterment. It's all self-motivated. It's all selfish. And you, like you say, you isolate.
Yeah.
You go, to up high in the mountain like the Buddhists.
Yeah.
Like them goats.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm isolating myself from the people. The topic is not isolation. This is a conversation.
Right.
I'm not trying to go super deep, super hard right now. It's a basic conversation. We separate ourselves and we go within. What makes it wicked, they're not going to the Most High. I spent years and hours and days and minutes in a cave or in a mountain or isolated, and I was seeking myself. I wasn't seeking the Most High. That's why Eastern philosophy is wicked. In the Western philosophy, in the Western world, they're going through and Sasha Wan breaks it down, going into what's the word for it? It's a Roman philosophy, Epicureanism, being Epicurean, which is every flavor, every texture, every type of food, every type of pleasure. That is the finding of happiness through exploring pleasures. So, what drug makes me happy? Is it weed? Is it coke? Is it pills? Is it opium? Is it Is it just cigs? Is it cigarettes? Is it this type of alcohol, spirits? Is it gin? Is it Hennessy? Is it dark liquors? Is it light liquors? Is it wines? Then it goes into foods. Different types of meats. What type of meats can bring me pleasure? Then now, because we're on the internet, we have the internet now. There's infinite scrolling you can do, which is a pleasure. The shorts. You have the shorts, the vines, which is old now. Shorts, vines, long play, YouTube. There's so much information out there. There's podcasts. There's so many ways to explore to find pleasure outside yourself. But the issue is, if I'm doing that and it's not related to the Most High, it ends up being vain and void.
And that's exactly what you're saying. It's in Jude 19. These be they who separate themselves sensual.
Stop right there. Separating themselves being what?
Sensual.
Sensual. And as you look in the future, this is what the future's going to be. The future's going to be, these days we're like, okay, I'm a black guy, I'm a white guy, I'm a Latino, I'm a native. And those are the basic roots. But now that they're creating multiple subsets of genders, and I'm not going to go into that main topic, the future, our children, they're going to divide themselves not racially, but based off of their identity principles.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I can't really go online and go into it because you know how the game goes. They already killed our algorithm already. Right? But when you go into the future, it's going to be what information do you connect to? What people do you watch? What influences do you lock into? And what identity politics are you connected to when it comes to gender? So the future is going to be people, they're going to be more and more divided. But the division comes from people chasing or being grouped into pursuit of passion and pleasure, just looking for, do you find pleasure in this genre? Do you find pleasure in that genre? Identity clicks. So, whole point, beautiful scripture. Read it again.
Jude 19.
Uh-huh.
These be they who separate themselves sensual.
Now, I'm not saying, oh, you're wicked and you're negative, you're evil because you separate yourself. I'm trying to tell you that you're being separated. This whole feminist movement, bro, listen, bro, I've studied it for many hours. I couldn't understand it. But you know what? All they have to do is set the table and push a message through media, and people are going to connect to those ideas because everybody's chasing some type of idea of freedom and independence. So if you're a woman and you want independence and you don't want to be subject to a man, which I see why. I'm not going to say I'm 100% Bible, pro-scripture, and I'm about change. I'm a very conservative person. But the way they paint the picture of households, the way they paint the picture of being married to someone, the way they paint the picture of depending on people, everybody's being pushed to be independent, including men. Men don't have to be a part of any type of group. Be a solo artist. Women don't have to be on top of a natural nuclear family. We have to create a new culture to create family. You have to have a new family culture structure. And they put shows out there on TV, and they put different little episodes, and they show alternative families, alternative family structures. What is this doing? What's the point? They're able to produce alternatives because people are looking for alternative pleasures because people have a fear of dealing with other people. That's why there's so many options out there, so many religions out there, so many cults out there, so many forms of pleasure and groupings of pleasure to chase. So what are we trying to say? I'm saying that the table for most people is being set. For 13-year-olds, we have 13-year-olds in class. Their table is being set for them already. Like our table is set for us. We just fall in line because what do sheep do? The Most High calls Israelites what? Sheep. So what do sheep do naturally?
Follow.
Sheeps follow, bro. If it's popular, people lock into it. If their friend does it and we're connected, I'm going to do it because they're doing it. Everybody's falling into a slot that's created for them because everybody doesn't have a true identity. I don't know if you don't know you're an Israelite man or woman, then you're going to flip in to wherever the natural culture is because you don't know who you are according to scriptures. So because people have identity issues, you're subject to being influenced. You're subject to being persuaded. All right? And persuasion in the form of books, people don't really know it. You're reading books, and the writers of the books the writers have agendas too.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't read it because they're not in scripture, they're not getting collected, they're not getting sharp in the book. Then you watch TV shows. If you like TV shows, there's people that have agendas behind the shows. The owner of Netflix is the great-grandson of the guy that invented the term propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say is everyone's pulling your spirit a different direction. So whether you're going outside yourself looking for pleasure, or you want to be the so-called righteous person and separate yourself and go within yourself, but be disconnected from your people, that's still an attack against God. It's just a different version of it. It's a version tailored for you. So what am I saying by saying all this? Because that's not even the class we're going into. What I'm saying is that these ideas and these pleasures that people chase, which is just the pleasure of having my way, the pleasure of my opinion, the pleasure of me sitting here being confident in who I am and not having to be defined by any group, being an outstanding individual for myself, all these angles are based on knowledge. There is a belief system behind every belief. If a person wants to be Tatiana, there is a mechanized philosophy behind it. If a man wants to be a man Tatiana, there is a mechanized belief system behind it. There's red pill movement. There's all kind of pills out there. There's black pill, red pill, blue pill, gold pill. This is new modern terms for ancient ideas. All right? So you deal with Egypt, you deal with the worship of multiple gods. Those gods are ideas. You're in Greece. There's a measure of multiple gods. Those gods are ideas. You're in Rome. It's the idea of multiple gods, but those gods are ideas. You're in America. It's multiple gods or spiritual deities that people are pursuing, but they just have different ideas for it. You're looking for Molech? What's Molech? The murder of babies. What is that nowadays? That's just Planned Parenthood. That's just simply Planned Parenthood. Going in and you know what? For the exchange of your money and your independence, you must kill your baby to maintain your independence in society. That's still an ancient practice in the modern time. Yes, ma'am. Rebirth through knowledge. So the issue is this. All the things that we're chasing, they're just different forms. They're based on different ideas that come from somebody. The issue is, do the ideas come from the Most High? The things I rebel about, or things that bother me, is it based off the scriptures? Or is it based off some type of carnal pleasure chase that I'm not really aware of? That's the point.
Hey, this verse real quick.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes, stay in Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 16 and 17. Just on your point.
1 and 16?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
Yep.
I commune with mine own heart, saying.
So Solomon is reflecting. Solomon's reflecting on his life. A lot of us get to that point where we reflect on our life. We reflect on our decisions. We reflect on our choices, the good and the bad. So what does Solomon have to say about his reflection in his life? Read on.
Saying, Lo, I am come to great estate.
I've accomplished a lot. I've gotten a lot. I'm stable. I've been successful. I've acquired much. I would be what society would consist of as being happy because of my estate. Read.
And have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem.
And I've accumulated a whole lot of knowledge, more than my predecessors. Read on.
Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge.
Yep, read on.
And I gave my heart to know wisdom.
But what he's going to say is, I have acquired this knowledge, this wisdom. I've gotten much. I've been successful. I've had a lot. But he's finding out that all of that had nothing to do with the Most High's happiness. All that he acquired, all that he attained, all that he accomplished, because it wasn't what the Most High truly wanted for him. He had a realization. Read on.
Right. He says, and I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly.
Mm-hmm.
I perceive
So
that.
hold on. So he learned the good of God, and he learned the bad of God. He learned this is how the Most High wants me to operate in life. This is how
pros
the
and
Most
the
High,
cons.
and this is what he doesn't want me to operate in life. But what did he realize? Read on.
I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit.
The vexation of spirit is the act of acquiring and getting the Most High's recognition and finding out what's pleasing to him wasn't the initial purpose of why he was doing what he was doing. And this is why he stalled or halted in his growth. Because if his happiness was solely on pleasing the Most High, solely on getting his acknowledgement, then he wouldn't have had to go tap into the other wisdoms.
I got to say this right here. What you're saying, I'm not going
Yeah.
to finish the point. But is my happiness based on, is that my, remember, because we're unhappy, we have to find a pleasure chase.
Exactly.
It's just different men have different pleasure chases. Some men is video games, some men is TV shows, some men is fucking cigarettes, some men is, I'm sorry cussing like that, but I'm just being real.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Right?
Yeah.
And the part of running a camp is finding how to pull men from their pleasure chase and how to get them to find happiness in where you're going right now, right?
And keeping men in their sincerity.
Yeah.
Because Solomon initially only wanted the wisdom for his people, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Because that's what's pleasing the Most High.
Yeah.
The wisdom, the estate, all that is extra.
Exactly.
It's what are you doing with your people? That was his initial state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
But because it evolved past what the Most
the
High
service to
wanted,
the people
it
to
evolved past
personal achievement. And I do apologize
Yeah.
for cursing. I said I'm gonna stop cussing on the mic. So I do apologize for that. That slipped out. But go ahead what you were saying.
But it evolved, and because it evolved,
Yeah.
that's when it became vexation of spirit. There was a class many years ago, 2 years ago, I think, and it was talking about the different stages of why men do what they do for the Most High. In the beginning, some men do what they do for the Most High out of fear. The Most High introduced us to himself.
I don't want to get shot.
I don't want to die and get struck by lightning right now. This loud voice that's coming from this mountain is going to kill me on the spot or open the ground up and take out half of the camp. So I'm going to follow God, because if I don't follow God, my
I
life's
find
gonna fall
bad
apart.
things in my life.
The second aspect is, okay, what I realize when I follow God is I get blessings. I win. I get stability.
Win.
I'm smiling.
Yeah.
I get the rib that I want. I get the family that I want. I get the time that I
Get
want.
benefits
There's some benefits here
for doing good.
in the initial stage. And after those benefits run dry, then it's like, why else am I doing this? Because it's also like this. Here's a comparison.
Yeah.
Israel got saved from slavery. That's a benefit. Israel was getting fed bread from the sky and was getting water from a rock. That's a benefit. They're constantly being fed. Although it wasn't what they particularly wanted, they were getting fed. They were getting taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they still unhappy? Because they saw stability from the nations. And they saw mansions. They saw mansions.
So this blessing that I have right here, this family I have right here is not enough.
Because they got it too.
This rib I have is not enough. These children I have is not enough. This food I'm eating, look what they're eating. They're eating some kind of new meat. What kind of meat is that? I don't know what that is. I can't eat. I'm not allowed to eat that.
Now I'm getting
They're
vexed.
eating snakes. I don't know. What does a serpent taste like? You might be curious. There's people that are curious about this kind of stuff.
It is curious. It's curiosity, because it's like Solomon said, I'm doing all this hard work.
Yeah.
To get to the point where you have a great estate and you have much wisdom and much experience, you put a lot of time and effort into that. But you got cats living the same life, having the same level of comforts, if not more comforts, with less work.
And they're not working as hard as you
That's the point.
to get the same outcome.
Yeah.
And Israel's so focused on outcomes
Yep.
versus pleasure with the Father.
In the process.
Remember, many worship the what? Creature more than the Creator. We want to worship the physical outcome. If the Most High gives me the rib I want, oh, the Most High is good. If I get the car I want, the Most High is good.
Yep.
If I get the physical situation or apartment or house situation I get, I'm happy because I got the physical, tangible blessing. We don't build our conscience and our gratification off of being confident in the scriptures, being confident in being able to be of service. You have something to offer your people. True happiness comes from having something that someone needs and you being able to supply that and give it for free. There's a joy that if you train your mind there, you can find that joy. You go.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna add on to that. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 9 and verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen men get new cars, right?
Yeah.
Relatively, they're used, but they're new to them.
Yeah.
And the first thing that come out of their mouth is, "Well, I want this new car." And I'm like, "Damn, bro. Excuse my French. We can't even appreciate what we got right here and right now. We can't even accept that this is what the Most High gave us." We were complaining about not having a vehicle.
Because physical joy is fleeting.
It is. It's an emotional state of mind.
And so, for some brothers, as soon as you get that rib, that magic rib, brothers want, within 6, I'm gonna say the magic rib because the idea. This idea. I've done the magic rib thing. You get the magic rib that pleases you in the flesh.
Yeah.
And then you look a year later, and guess what? The flesh is no longer pleased because you look for joy through tangible, physical pleasure, and accentuating that this is what I've achieved, so I can present this to people, and this is who I am based off of this tangible blessing I have.
Yeah.
Then a year later, you're not happy anymore.
Yeah.
It's because the basis of your happiness was a carnal achievement versus a spiritual achievement.
Yeah.
And maybe that should be a class one day. But the issue is, I can never really be reborn if I don't change my set of values. What are my values really based on? My personal values, the things that make me upset, what is it based on? Do I feel like I'm being rejected?
Yeah.
Do I feel like I'm missing out? Do I feel like I didn't achieve the degree of achievement that I really wanted? Do I feel like I don't have the liberty I really needed? Do I feel like my friends in the world, because go back to Lasha's point, the friends in the world are outperforming me, and they don't know any scriptures.
Yep.
They still go to church. They don't know any Hebrew. They don't serve the nation. They just go to work and go home. But they have a stable condition, like the Israelites when we were in the wilderness. Is that where you were going?
God, because the Israelites, although they were getting the blessings, remember, some follow because of fear. Some follow because they're getting blessings.
Yeah.
But because you don't ever elevate to, I just genuinely love pleasing the Most High, then it stops at a certain point. Because you know what? You might fear the Most High, but you fear other things more. You fear looking bad more. You fear the nations more. You fear society more. So because you fear that more than God.
Well, I feel being ostracized.
That's the point. I feel being ostracized more. So therefore, I'm going to start making mistakes that would offend God because I fear the immediate repercussions of offending society or looking like the oddball.
There's a shame associated with being rejected on a social level.
God.
So going back to our class, Rebirth through knowledge, it's really about finding the truth will do it for you. If you hear long enough, the Spirit will reveal it for you. The Spirit will tell you. It might take a couple years. The Spirit will tell you why you're tripping. If you listen to counsel and you pursue it in the book, you can figure out in a year or 2 years. You can get it quickly.
If there's sincerity in servitude.
The Most High will show you. The Most High will show you that this wall that you're hitting in your development as a man is based on something that it might be some childhood situation where everybody got cake and you didn't.
Yeah.
And you being isolated from other people is a weakness now. It's a big fear of yours.
Yeah.
But you're not going into the knowledge of that. You have to go to the idea of, listen, why does being alone or why does being different from other people, why does it bother me so much? What's the thinking behind it? We don't deal with it. We just react to the situations. We're too busy reacting and never really getting to the root of the problem. So let's go into class.
I had this verse.
Oh, finish the verse. Yeah. No, finish the verse.
We're done with Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
For what man is he?
Nope. 9:18.
9:18. For so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed.
And this is why we're going into the class that we're going into. Because what the Most High is saying is, if you're doing this for the right reasons, and you're truly being guided by the Holy Spirit, which is the scriptures, which is the words that Christ left behind us, if you're being guided by that, then the ways of the men on earth will start to be reformed.
Reformed.
Exactly.
That means you were already formed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were fashioned in the belly 9 months, 10 months, like the scripture says, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were already formed. But this is about being reformed. Listen, you already have your principles and, your carnal principles, your carnal construction of who you are. But that's not going to get you the kingdom. That's not going to get you the pleasure of the Most High. It's about being reformed, reformatting your pleasures.
Read on.
Yeah.
God. Wisdom of Solomon 9:18.
Mhm.
For so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed,
Mhm.
and the men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee.
Because
Great point.
what it's about now is, can we be taught and can we start executing what the Most High finds pleasing unto Him? Like Dahlia was bringing up. How do you treat your people around you? How much do you consider your people? How much are you separating your wants from the Most High's wants?
Do you train yourself to find pleasure from it?
Yes. Are you retraining? Are you allowing yourself to be retrained? Are you allowing your perspective to be retrained? How you look at things, how you rationalize things, how you cope with things.
And this isn't for our personal pleasure to make us as teachers or whatever we want to say we are at the moment. This ain't for, oh man, because I just want him to check me or I want him to blaze me up. I'm saying this is for your own personal happiness.
You gotta deal with you. When you go home at night and you look yourself in the mirror,
You gotta live with
you gotta live with you. Can I live with who I am right now? Can I accept who I am right now? Can I be comfortable in my own skin, knowing the Most High is blazing at me
And where I'm
looking
at
right
right now. Who I am and where I'm at.
Exactly. And a lot of people, I know for me, when I'm off and when I was really ignorant, I couldn't be comfortable in my own skin because I knew there were so many glaring issues in me and my personality. Every time I read, I'm like, man, I got this issue, but man, also I don't like this about me. There's too many.
But people feel that same nakedness
Yes.
around people in the world.
Exactly.
And so I have to please these people to stop feeling naked, in a sense. Stop feeling exposed.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
Is that the scripture?
Just finish.
Can you read that point again? You said again? That's what point was strong.
God.
Yeah. From
For-
top.
God. Wisdom of Solomon 9:18.
Uh-huh.
For so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed, and the men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee.
Now stop. We were, in our last class, we stopped at the flood
Mm-hmm.
and how the world got destroyed by the flood. And the flood was the destruction of all the idols.
Yes.
You had Shem,
Ham.
Yaphath, right?
Yeah.
And then who else? Ham, right? Ham, however how you want to pronounce it, right?
Ham.
Yaphath, and you had Shem. And then you have, of course, the father was Noah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the world started from scratch.
Yep.
The world started completely over. And you have these three men, and they're going to their bloodline is going to be the rebirth of the next world.
Yes.
This is a major. Put yourself in the shoes of these men.
Yeah.
Everybody you knew that you used to give dap to, say what's up to, barbecue with, hang out with, grew up with. All your cousins too. Your cousins is dead. Your cousins is dead. Your homies is dead. Your exes are dead. All your friends are dead. Right? Literally. All your friends are dead. It's a new world. You get out the ark. Everything's muddy and it's brand new little grass. It's just nature. No more villages.
It's quiet. It's real
It's
quiet.
very quiet.
It's real quiet.
The only people you have to talk to are literally your ribs, your kids, your dad, and your brother. The life that brothers complain about. Just I want to interact with the world, but I have nothing else going on.
Yeah.
You don't think that there's anger behind not being able to connect with anybody anymore?
There was for him. Handled like that.
Guess what? Shem accepted it because his bloodline and his children reflected the acceptance
Yeah.
of this righteous spiritual government that came from the Most High. Right? Yaphath, I don't know. I wasn't there, bro.
No one knows what
It
happened.
doesn't really break down Yaphath yet. Maybe Yaphath was going hard in the wisdom of God. I don't know. I didn't read it.
Obviously not, because his line wasn't acknowledged. So obviously
Yeah. But when you look at Ham, who came out of Ham? Mizraim.
not. Yeah.
Mizraim is who?
Oh, Egyptians.
The Egyptians.
Yeah.
Cush. Who's Cush? Ethiopians, right? Ethiopians. And also the nations that were in Canaan, right? Canaan. The Canaanites, right? So the Egyptians, the Canaanite races, and of course, the Ethiopians, right? All these spirits, which is later on Nimrod, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these spirits, these wicked spirits that brought back these old idols, these old gods, they came out of Ham's bloodline. So did Ham accept the righteous lifestyle? No.
And then one be reformed.
So if you don't accept the reforming, and you don't accept the new life, what do you seek? The old life. The old way. And you have to relearn the old way. Well, everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. All the hours are gone. So what do you have to do? Somebody passed that knowledge back down to the earth. Who passed it down? Ham. Ham taught like men teach the truth to their kids and pass it down. Other men teach carnality and negative knowledge, the streets, running women, taking advantage of people, certain hustles, certain games. They pass it down. Even moms. Moms pass down certain wicked, carnal, street knowledge to their what?
Their daughters.
To their daughters. And then over time, it multiplies in the earth, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now let's go back to our scripture. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3, verse 26. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3, verse 26.
Ecclesiasticus, Apocrypha 3 and 26.
So now the table is set. Everybody's in their pleasure chase. Everybody's in their pursuance. Everybody has their philosophy. Everybody has their ideology. Everybody has their personal cult. Everybody has their personality that they admire. Their what's the word for it? Their role model.
Yeah.
Everybody has their
idol.
genre of music. Everybody has their taste. You grow up with different tastes. But you don't research the spirit behind the things you chase. Read on.
In Ecclesiasticus 3 and 26.
Uh-huh.
A stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last.
So that negative, as the negative increases in a man or woman, it will do what? It will fare evil at the what?
At the last.
At the end. So we're striving to be righteous. But if we maintain stubbornness, the scripture does say that this heart will be evil at the last. Right now, me and you are all in a fight for our soul life. You might not think so, but you really are in a fight for what's going to influence you as a man or influence you as a woman, or who you're going to be when you're 65 years old, or how you're going to die. When you die, what kind of person you're going to be before you die. We're all in a fight to maintain our perspective, to maintain our discipline, and to maintain the spirit of service with joy.
Meaning we're constantly getting molded.
We're constantly being molded.
Yes.
And that stubborn spirit is resisting the molding.
And one of those definitions for evil is bad habits of the natural kind.
Perfect time to bring it out. So evil is bad habits of the natural kind. So a stubborn heart shall do what? Fare what?
Fare evil at the last.
Or maintain bad habits. All right? Because I'm stubborn, my stubbornness is going to protect. It's a shield to maintain my bad habits. All right? Just like Ham. Just like Mizraim. Just like the men that inhabited Canaan. We can go into that. I don't want to go take the class off topic. But they have a whole different wicked religion as you can find in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12. The whole chapter breaks down the previous religion of these guys.
You'll become a rebel without a cause.
You'll be a rebel without a cause. There's no cause. Well, the cause is I'm looking for what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But it's outside the Most High. So whether you're going in yourself or outside yourself, Epicurean way or the internal meditative way, both ways are wicked if it's not the pursuit of God. All right? So now, let's keep going to Scripture.
Ecclesiasticus 3 and 26.
Yeah, the B part of Scripture.
Middle of the verse.
Uh-huh.
And he that loveth danger shall perish therein.
So, and the danger is I'm entertaining the negative. I'm flirting with adultery. I'm flirting with quitting. I'm flirting with separation of myself and pursue the world outside of the protection of the camp and the grid of the camp. I'm pursuing experimentation. These are all things that men deal with. When you look at society, the 60s was about, what was the 60s about?
Free love.
It was about free love, drugs, LSD, and the sexual revolution. If you look, it's already in the books, bro. It's already in history books.
Talking about 1969.
It's about the 60s in general.
Okay.
The hippie movement.
Woodstock.
Yeah, the hippie movement was all about
Free bacon.
Yeah, you have the 50s, which was the nuclear family at its peak in America, and classic moral values. People got sick of that because it was boring, and they wanted to go into alternative. And the alternative was what? Eastern philosophies, Eastern ideologies. They brought that Indian culture into the Americas, and then you have blacks too. Not just talking about Edomites, right? We had our people locking in with Edomites and pursuing Eastern philosophies. You had Jimi Hendrix going, he's going in doing his thing. Mary, he's going into it, doing his thing. But what did he represent? He represented experimentation with LSD. He represented illicit physical pleasures.
Carlos Santana.
And Carlos Santana the same. They represented the chasing of pleasure. But it was such a high degree, it set the culture for the 70s, for the increase of this culture. Then it got to the 80s, the crack epidemic. It got to the 90s, the gang epidemic. And then it got to the 2000s, the broken wrist epidemic. Right? And then you go to the 2010s. And it's the further degrading of what? The family structure, the family culture, the society. So we're in a time period of broken culture. As the world's breaking in this culture, am I fighting in my mind and my conscience and resisting the culture around me, especially women, because women are they're communal based. They're communal. They're very influenced by what's popular at the time, the fashions of the people. Men are too, especially men, but it's more prevalent in women. You can see easier, right? So the point we're getting to is, am I going to maintain where I go into myself and I find out what do I need to heal myself? Where do I need to heal? The pursuits of our personal pleasures because we're angry. We're unhappy with things in our life, how things went. I didn't pass this grade. I lost this year in my life. I lost this girl in my life. I lost this opportunity in my life. And because of the loss of this situation, I need this pleasure to make me feel like a man. Women do the same thing. I need this to make me feel like a true woman. All right? Huh?
The void feels.
To fill the void. And what do we fill the void with? Idols or beliefs or ideas. Right? So when now, here comes the scriptures out of nowhere. You're in the truth. Here's the knowledge. Most High. 613 commandments. 600, I guess, 13 or 615 commandments? All right, 613 commandments. The Decalogue. And then the mind of Christ. All these restrictive concepts that restrict you from using that God or that pleasure chase as a place to hide. What did Adam do? When he left the garden, what did he do? He hid amongst the trees. And he covered himself, right? What do? We hide amongst the nations. And we cover ourselves. He says he covered the covering, but not of my what? Not of my spirit. So we hide behind a lot of things. So this is why people are stubborn. People are stubborn because they don't want to let go of their blanket. I know it sounds extreme to say that. I'm saying that on purpose so that you can relate. You don't want to let go of your blankie. So as you're too old for this blankie, now you're grown, you're a big 10-year-old in the grocery store with a blankie, looking crazy. What's this dude doing? You 10 years old, man. You got a little baby mustache. You got a little peach fuzz mustache. You got a blankie? What's this about? But he didn't want to let go of his comfort. He won't let go of his control. We become adults, and we have a different blanket. We have a different covering or protective layer to hide behind. And guess what? That's why we're stubborn. Because you have to let something go to gain something new. In a relationship, you want your marriage to grow? Let go of your ex. It's pretty simple. Let go of the idea of returning with your ex. It's about modern people. I don't know about people in the back in the day. It's about modern times. The most breakups these days are always about, I went back to my ex. Is that what you hear?
Yeah.
Was that deal with people's households and deal with carnal people in the world? It's always, man, she went back to her ex, bro. Or he went back to his ex. It's always the same game. Everybody's looking backwards. Everybody's going backwards. Why? Because that's where the comfort was at. That's where the peace was at, quote unquote. That's where the familiarity is at. So now, what's the point? Because you don't want to let go of certain things, it makes you what? Stubborn. Ham did not want to live a new life in a new world, keeping the Most High's commandments, living like his father. He wanted the life before the flood. He wanted the parties, the wild lifestyle, and the wild culture. Obviously, it was bad for Most High flood the world. It had to be bad. It wasn't like people just, throwing gang signs up.
It was double time. Too.
It was
from the top and the bottom.
It had to be turned up for God to say, we're going to flood the whole world, bro. Everybody got to die. All flesh had to go out. The dinosaurs had to lose their life out. They had to lose their life out. Behemoths got to go out. But the whole point we're getting to is, read again from the scriptures.
God, Ecclesiastes 3:26.
Uh-huh.
A stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last.
So because I can't let go of certain things or certain ideas, because I can't let go of certain beliefs, it's going to injure you or maintain your bad habits. That's the only point, okay? Let's go to Proverbs 16:2. Proverbs 16:2. So the only real way to be reborn is to confront false narratives, fallacies, and false beliefs, or things you hold on to that are no longer relevant to your spiritual growth. All right? Proverbs 16:2.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes,
Uh-huh.
but the Most High weigheth the spirits.
Listen, we always think we're right. If you're an honest person, you always think you're right. If you're honest.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it if you didn't think you were right.
Yeah.
Right? Read the point again.
Proverbs 16:2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes.
Everything makes sense to us. You wouldn't do it if it didn't make sense to you. The problem is, does it make sense to the scriptures? Does it make sense based upon the book? Or does it make sense based off your idea of how you protect yourself? Your self-preservation mechanism that's inside of you. Read on.
But the Most High weigheth the spirits.
The Most High is always weighing, what is this idea you're holding on to connected to? What God is this connected to? What philosophy is this connected to? And what's the end of that idea? Next scripture, Philippians 3:6. Philippians 3:6. So what are we saying? In order to grow and to get a new life and to be reborn, you have to go and attack internal beliefs that you have. Not just your bad habits, but the beliefs that create those bad habits.
Philippians chapter 3 and verse 6 read,
Uh-huh.
concerning zeal, persecuting the church.
Who's talking right now? Isn't that Paul?
Yeah.
So read on.
Concerning zeal, persecuting the church,
Read on.
touching the righteousness which is
In the law.
which is in the law, blameless.
Read on.
But what things were gained to me, those I counted lost for Yahushua.
So Paul had a whole life set up. He had a whole life. He had wealth. He had status. He had estimation amongst the people. He had confidence. He had a group. He had a covering. He had protection. He was good, bro. Just to one day realize he was wrong.
Yep.
But that's not like our life. Some of us came to the truth and we knew it was dead wrong. Some of us thought, I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
Some of us, I'm not that bad, I came here because I just want to know more about the Bible. Some of us, man, I'm a Belo de Ekaya. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly.
Better than a guy.
I'm a Belo de Ekaya. I'm a dog in the street. I need to be here. I'm a dog in the street without the truth. Right? So some men, hey, man, I'm no good without God. And some men, hey, you know what, there's more I can learn, but I think I'm doing pretty good. Listen, Paul was doing pretty good. But the good he was doing was nothing in comparison to the mind and the knowledge of Christ. So my question for all of us, including myself, is all the good that I think I'm doing, am I willing to improve myself or make adjustments to get closer to Christ? Or am I telling myself I'm good enough? If Paul told himself he was good enough, just being a Pharisee, a master of the law, a persecutor of the church, and a extremely zealous man, and a teacher, He taught back then too. And a well-spoken man.
Mm-hmm.
If he was content with the knowledge he had and what he was, will we be reading about Paul right now? No.
Yeah, he didn't say I can bring something to the table. He said he counted all lost.
He counted it lost, bro. And this is where a lot of people are at. Ham's like, listen, I'm not counting loss. I'm not letting go of the old world. I'm not letting go of the pre-flood world. I learned a lot. I gained a lot in that world. I'm gonna teach that. I'm gonna pass that down to my son. He's gonna pass it on to his son until we rebuild that old world back. That's what you do when you think I'm okay. Read on.
Verse 8. Ye doubtless.
Yeah, doubtless. Read.
Yea, doubtless. And I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua, my Lord.
So it said, listen, I count everything I learned, everything I knew, everything I became, and all my pursuits were nothing in comparison to pursuing Christ. That's a strong statement.
You know, I was reading this book called Relentless, and the guy said you can set a standard or you can set a standard of excellency, and that's what Christ was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you could tell someone like, you know, hey, brush your teeth, wash your face, and you know, but or like say it was Christ, Christ would floss, brush your teeth, and use mouthwash. That's the whole another standard. He's like, I'm not gonna put that on you. You just, you know, do the basic stuff. But Christ was on the whole another level.
Christ, when it comes to mental hygiene, was on the highest degree. Everybody has their way of cleaning themselves spiritually. I can take a long walk.
That's right.
Yeah, it's mental hygiene. I'm gonna take a long walk. I'm gonna call my mama. I'm gonna go back to my old neighborhood. These are things people do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back where my ex used to live and go just to reminisce, get my mind back. These are things that men do in general to recenter themselves. I'm gonna look at baby pictures, remember the good times,
Yeah.
right?
That's funny.
Now I'm gonna go on Facebook, go to remember when. I don't know. I'm not a Facebook guy enough, but people have the remember when moments, right? Or I'm gonna go watch old TV shows I used to watch when I was a kid just to get back and look at how far I've come as a man. Wherever you're at as a man, the point is when you start focusing on Christ, Christ makes you have to question every single belief you have that doesn't fit the scriptures or that is not producing a positive outcome in your life, in your spiritual life. Is that clear? So Paul, with all his knowledge, all his wealth, all his development, all his growth as a man, all his status as a man, all that had to wash away because Christ confronted him and told him there's more and there's further he can go in righteousness. Do we take the same mind as Paul, or do we take the mind of Ham? The Most High gives you a reset in your life, and do you want to look backwards and rebuild the old world, or do you throw away the new world that you're in, the present world, the present evil world, and then pursue Christ? What kind of person are you? Are you like Ham in the mind, or are you like Paul in the mind? There's only two perspectives. There's only two. Start from scratch. My life is over. Rebuild the way it used to be. Rebuild that Tower of Babel, or build the Tower of Babel in the future, or go back to old idolatry, or build the old life, or base my life on the old way, the old perspective. Or throw away all the old way and accept the new way. Both take energy. Both take spirit. Both take time. We're getting judged because we're getting judged based on where do you put your time, where do you put your energy, where do you put your spirit. Do you put it rebuilding the old way off the old knowledge, or do you start building the new way off the new knowledge, which is the knowledge of Christ? Read on.
Come, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but done, that I may win Yahushua.
So, in order to win Christ, you have to give up your way. You have to release your way. You have to deny yourself. It's not just not smoking cigarettes. It's the idea behind the cigarettes. What's the idea behind cigarettes?
Addiction.
Addiction, yeah.
The comfort.
I deserve comfort.
Instant gratification.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say that because cigarettes too.
I talked to somebody a long time ago, and they said they got that idea just to look cool in front of other people too.
To look cool. Some people do it. There's different reasons people do it.
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's it.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not just here on the concept of serious. We can use pork. We can go to pork. We can go to all kind of different sins. All kind of different. There's different angles. The question is, why do we do it? Because of flipping on husbands. Why do I do it? When men flip on elders, why do you do it? Some people don't like being dominated by. Some people have a problem with authority figures. They have a problem with another man commanding them. It bothers certain people. Then that's the sin. The sin is the dislike of authority. That's what causes the issue. Or the cigarette. Can you give this sister an opportunity to go through? Thank you, sir. Or the cigarette. The cigarette idea, I want to look cool. Like the brother used the example, I want to look cool. It's the desire to look cool in front of people. That is the actual sin. That's the root of the sin. I want to be perceived a certain way. This is why I'm committing this sin. Some people just want freedom, bro. Some sins are about just chasing freedom. And the desire for freedom is the root of their sin. Like the scripture says, the money is the root of all evil. Mm-hmm. There's roots to evil. There's roots to sin. And do I go in the scriptures or allow counselors to help me get to the root and to confront the root? Or am I stuck on just cigarettes are bad? Don't talk back. Don't go out on the Shabbat, which you should know anyway. People never attack the why. And that's why we keep making the same mistakes. The whole idea of feminism, right? Not being feminine. It's about being anti-nuclear family. Why is that acceptable? A lot of people were raised without fathers. So why put myself in a position to do something I never saw my mother do? I never saw my mother submit to a husband. So why do I got to submit to a husband? So is the issue feminism? Or is the issue they never confronted the idea of having to work with somebody that was a man? That's the real root of the problem. We're too busy attacking just the surface issues. You get the idea? Yes, sir.
Can you repeat that? You said, what was the real idea behind it?
People choose feminism. And I used cigarettes earlier. Now I'm using feminism. We'll just find different examples. People choose feminism because it's a more comfortable belief system. Why is it more comfortable? Because the nuclear family, which is anti-feminism, which is pro people working together, which is traditional biblical values, right? That requires a man and a woman to work together for the betterment of the child. But if your household never had a man in it, and you never saw your mother submit to a man, then if you had to go to a whole new life, a whole new belief, and a whole new tradition that you never saw in your life, you might as well choose feminism. Because it's already comfortable based on what your natural life experience. If you grew up with uncles and aunties that were pro-rainbow, right? You know what? It's hard to go into traditional values when the people you grew up with were pro-rainbow. So you might as well choose the acceptance of rainbow philosophies because it's natural based off of your natural comforts in life. We never deal with the root of the problem, our lack of experience. Israel was destroyed for lack of what? Knowledge. The lack of knowledge is a lot of experiences that we were missing. There's a lot of experiences that we haven't received, and then people, when they finally receive that situation, feel too vulnerable. I feel too vulnerable with the man telling me what to do. I feel too vulnerable having to trust in a husband. I feel too vulnerable having to cope with my anxiety without these chemicals. Because I've seen people use chemicals to control their anxiety since my youth. You get the idea? All we're doing is we're just flowing in the direction of the environment and choosing guides and philosophies that fit my environment without saying, you know what is the root of these problems? Yes, sir.
Would you say the experience is the opportunity that we have to make the right decision?
I'm saying that the experiences you don't have, that people are afraid of, I'm afraid to trust a man. I'm afraid to trust the elder. I get these legitimate fears. All right, these are legitimate fears. I'm afraid to work with a body. I'm afraid to work around people. Listen, when I came to the truth, bro, I came around a bunch of dudes, hairy dudes. Everybody's woolly, bully, hairy, loud talking dude. What the hell is this problem, bro? I was in church, everybody's clean shaven, and they have suits and ties on. You come in the camp, everybody got boots on, talking loud, speaking Hebrew. Studs and boots, talking strong all the time, like we're having a basic conversation. Yeah! I'm like, what's going on,
Sound
bro?
off.
What's up with this dude? Like, say what you ain't talking like a man. I'm talking like a man.
Yeah.
I'm talking like you gotta talk with your base. Speak with your diaphragm, huh? You sound weak. Like wait, Con. Whatever you want me to do, Con. I grew up in a single parent mom home, bro. I have to talk like that. Mom! Peanut butter and jelly. I would appreciate it. Like, what kind of is this, bro? What is this?
You're like Will Ferrell.
Yeah, you talking powerful to your mom? And this happened. I was on the phone with a 65-year-old woman. One of my first counselors. I'm blazing this 65-year-old woman on the phone. I'm like 19, 18 years old, bro. Got the scriptures. I got her phone number out. I'm gonna teach her the Bible. And I'm blazing her about church. I'm going in. It's wicked. Listen, that's all she knows. All she knows is white Jesus, man. You can't just have a basic conversation with her and go into the color of Christ, the bloodline of the Hebrews, that you're a Jew, that the Most High chose you. I'm out here street teaching on the phone, bro. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm street teaching on a telephone, calling Carolina a 65-year-old woman out. Because that's my adaptation to the environment I got thrown in. I'm coming from a single-parent home. My mom's at work, busting her tail on 12-hour shifts. I just listen to rap music and watch Steve Urkel and Rap City. That's my life. And some CNN. That's my life. And it was a pretty good life for a while. And the homies, we hoop all summer. That's what we do. Now I go to the mall, talk to some Puerto Rican dude with a beard, a real scraggly beard, that all he does is yell all day. But I gotta do it for Jesus. What is this? It's a complete flip of comfort. And the complete flip of comfort is so uncomfortable. Why should I do this? I gotta be vulnerable around people that are completely opposite of me. Everything they ask me to do is completely opposite of my natural character. That means you gotta let go of the old knowledge and put on the new knowledge and build a new man that's renewed in what? No, this is how men talk. Now, as I got older, I realized men talk like that in certain environments, not 24 hours a day. But the brother's gonna push you outside yourself so you can be familiar with the new spirit. You get the idea? So a lot of us, that's why I'm not just using you, and the sin. I'm trying to show personal life experience too. So you can see that we're all coming in this truth thing from different life positions. And you're being tailored and you're being pushed in a different direction, like Paul. Paul, one day, was the man. Next day, he saw Christ on a horse, a light on a horse, and threw him off, it was a light, and threw him off his horse. And he fell on the ground. And his whole life changed. All of us have had the same experience. Paul physically saw a light. We got the light of the scriptures. I'm in the mall, do quote scriptures. I look up, I'm in class. Everybody has their own moment when the Most High said it's time to follow me on this level. It's time to be reformed. The question is, do I accept the letting go of my old way and my old knowledge and my old reasoning so I can truly be effective in the new environment? Let's keep reading, bro.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And be found in him, not having my own righteousness.
Not having my own what?
Righteousness.
We all come in the truth with our own idea of what's right. And for the world's sake, it worked in the world. I'm not going to say it didn't work. It might have worked in the world. But my idea of righteousness didn't work in the truth. And I'll go back to my old experiences. When it came to marriage, I was told in the old world, never let a man tell you how to deal and address and deal with your wife. Because that's your wife. It's not his wife, it's your wife. That makes sense in the world. But in the truth, you have to have men that are more experienced than you tell you what to do so that you don't sit here and burn your house up and be a lion or sit here and be a kitten. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to practice moderation. and be a fair judge and be impartial and be a teacher and an example in your home, right? But you need men to help guide you. For women, there's elder sisters, there's different tiers of sisters that can give experience to help women become more well-rounded. But in the process of being well-rounded, something has to fall off. Get the idea? We're all rocks to a degree. When you put in a tumbler, what makes that rock beautiful? The fact it goes in so many cycles and all those chips come off. Or you throw in the river and the water goes over that rock and let that rock be on the river for a whole month. Water's soft, but consistent pressure over time smooths all the layers of that stone. True or false? So when you're around people that are supposed to be spiritual, right? Or people that are practicing righteousness, iron sharpened iron is doing what? It's the pressure of being around other people in pursuance of the scriptures. And you studying. And you communicating. Over time, helps you smooth out your spirit and become well-rounded spiritually. But to be well-rounded, you have to let something go. There's things we all got to let go of in order to be reborn. But what is the root of the things we have to let go? Everybody has their own roots. The question I have for everybody, and the challenge I have for everybody is, do you actually get to the root, or are you still dealing with symptoms of the sickness? Yes, sir.
Is this what you mean by most of us don't confront the why?
There you go. That's another way of saying it.
Okay.
We don't confront the why. We don't confront the root. We don't confront the source that it comes from. And this is what holds us back from our rebirth. You get the idea? Christ is not bringing old rocks to the new kingdom. He's not bringing a bunch of jagged people that can't interact with each other to the new kingdom. He's not bringing a bunch of old knowledge, pre-flood knowledge that he destroyed. Everybody had to drown. Just let that old knowledge come back to the new kingdom. He's not doing it. Okay? So we have to be willing to get to the root of the sickness to make these changes. It's easier when you know the root of your problems. When you fight to get to the root. I'm trying to show people a way to change that makes it easier. With these classes, we're trying to find ways to help people find angles to overthrow themselves and their weakness. Is that clear?
Okay.
My angle for the day is, what is the why? What is the reasoning behind the sickness? We just focus on, I'm on drugs. That's not enough, bro. Why are you on drugs? I can't handle pressure. Okay, what is the reason you can't handle pressure? Because I've never been conditioned to handle responsibility in my life. Now we're getting somewhere. You get the idea? I don't like people. Why don't you like people? I'm afraid of being rejected. And that's the real problem. The problem isn't people, it's your fear of rejection. You get the concept? We blame it on people. Oh, it's not around people. They just make me mad. No, bro. You're afraid of people rejecting you. That's why you're getting angry. You're getting angry because you're afraid of the spirit of rejection. That's the root of the problem. Then get to that. We're sitting here hitting the wrong angles and wonder why it's year 6 and we have the same problems. I can't commit to the spirit the Most High gave me. I can't commit to it. You know why you can't commit to it? The real reason you can't commit to it is because, hey, bro, we've had so many experiences before the truth that now I can't value what I have in front of me because I've had too many multiple experiences. Now I have to retrain myself to value what the Most High gives me. It's not if you're quote unquote 20-something years old, that ain't fun. Is that clear? It's like I'm missing out on my life. It goes two ways though. That goes two ways. We just keep attacking the symptoms and we don't attack the root causes of the problem. And that's what rebirth knowledge is about. You're reborn, or you start to be reborn easier when you can find the root of why you do what you do. Not just attacking cigarettes, not just attacking the reaction, the knee-jerk reaction to things. Let's keep going. So now let's go to keep reading the scripture. Keep reading, bro.
Verse 9. And be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Yahushua.
So listen, you might have been half right, half wrong. It might have been right for me not to trust another man's advice about my household. That was right when I was in the world, because people in the world have bad advice. They do. But now I gotta trust people. I have to learn how to trust now. That's hard to do, bro. It's hard to trust a stranger. It's hard to read the Bible and really believe it for yourself when you don't believe it all. If you have belief problems, bro, now it's time to make your whole year about building belief. If you have doubt issues, that means everything goes on pause. If I have doubt issues, I need to psychoanalyze every part of my life and see all the good the Most High has done for me to build my faith up. That's what you have to do to get past these demons out. You get to make it your number one goal and agenda to start chipping away at the root of the problem versus the symptoms. So read that point one time. We're going to go to our next scripture.
Come and be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Yahweh.
You think the law was wicked out? The law wasn't wicked, bro. It wasn't wicked to teach the law. The law is phenomenal. The law is beautiful. But it wasn't the faith of Christ. There was further Paul could achieve. So if he wanted to be righteous as the Most High, he has to keep progressing forward. He can't be content where he's at. A lot of us are quote-unquote wicked because we're content. I'm okay, I've done enough. I know enough classes. I know enough scriptures. I'm good where I'm at. It's easy to do that. But you're going to look up and be behind in 2 to 3 years. Because problems keep increasing. You have to have answers for them, or you have to be current with the scriptures to solve them. But if you're like, man, I know enough scriptures, I know the breakdowns, I got the basic information, I know the law, I know the scriptures, I know some proverbs, I'm good, bro. Why are you stressing me out? Because you have to keep adapting. You have to keep progressing. You have to stay current. In profession, they have people go back in medical world. Don't people go back to school and get retrained? Why?
There's always new medicines, new update, new procedures.
I gotta be updated. I gotta update. I gotta maintain. I gotta be updated. The knowledge you had when you were in high school cannot be the knowledge you apply when you're a grown man. You know how many men are still applying high school wisdom and they're in older bodies? Some of us are still in middle school. We're gonna be honest. Some of us still have middle school ways of solving problems, and we're 25 and up. So the scriptures, all the scriptures do is get you current. But if we're not dealing with the root of the problems, then it's hard to be reborn. Is that clear?
No.
I don't think I need to be reborn. I'm good enough. I've done enough. If Paul took that mindset, we wouldn't be reading about Paul. All right? So next scripture. Let's go to St. John 10 and 38. So to be reborn, you got to give up pride, stubbornness, right? The old way. And to be reborn, we have to do what? We have to, well, I already said it. You got to give your way. All right? Next part. Okay?
St. John chapter 10,
Verse 38.
verse 38. It says, but if I do, though ye believe not me, believe the works.
A lot of us, if we're honest, everybody don't have 100% faith in Christ. If they're honest, I know I'm pretty confident in Christ 100%. Most I put me through a lot of stress. And I said I had to believe. I might as well believe. Hell with it. I might as well. I've seen miracles. I've seen people's spirits go back in their body. I believe the Bible. Trust it. I'm in a car is coming to crash into the car. I'm going to die. I've seen the car pause. I've seen time pause. No joke. I saw the car pause and freeze. The car, everything else freeze. The car passes by the truck. Then the truck goes. I've seen time freeze. I saw it. So I have no other choice but to believe. But every one of us has seen a miracle, bro. We've seen chariots. We've had super spiritual experiences. If you're going to be honest, you've had a spiritual experience. The Most High has shown you something. But we choose to let those things go and to focus on doubt. You'll never grow that way if you're focused on your doubts more than the Most High's miracles. Right? So let's read. But if I do what?
But if I do, though ye believe not me, believe the works.
So what was Christ saying to the Pharisees?
Believe the works.
If you don't believe me, believe the outcomes. This is another way to address our knowledge. What's the outcome of my knowledge? And what's the outcome of Christ's knowledge? The Pharisee knowledge, we're going to stone these women, stone these men, put these people to death. We're not going to address the publicans and sinners. And we're going to look good because we have great garments and we have phylacteries and we're decked out. And we have bread.
Those miracles was for them to see, because the Jews require a sign. But they couldn't even see the works, behind the man.
Exactly. Christ was doing miracles in front of them. The Pharisees saw the miracles too. But they didn't want to let go of their knowledge, their status, what they've achieved. Paul did. Ham didn't. The Pharisees didn't. I can't let go of what I know for something greater. Can't do it. I'm going to focus on my doubts. I'm not going to focus on the miracles I saw in front of me. Christ, like, you got to believe me. Believe the works. Believe what you see. Believe the outcome you see. Read on.
It says, verse 38, he said, but if I do, though ye believe not me, believe the works.
If you don't believe me, believe the works. Read on.
That ye may know and believe that the Father is in me and I in him.
Yeah, believe the works because you see the physical outcome of the knowledge. The knowledge of the Most High has taken a bunch of misfits that can't get along with anybody and made someone get along in Christ. That's a miracle. We can't get along our own families out. But the Most High has brought strangers from different parts of the country to sit here and live in one and focus on one belief from the scriptures. And I've seen men go further in this arena. I've seen guys that dropped out of middle school and become businessmen and stable. I've seen perpetual quitters do great things. This knowledge works. It works. Do you look at how it works, or do you focus on your doubts? Focusing on your doubts is how you never change. You'll never have the moral belief to keep trying. Listen, bro, there's brothers in truth and myself that have fought battles and haven't won. And you have to keep fighting the same battle until you crack it. But a lot of men fight the same battle, and because the demon doesn't crack, or the wall doesn't crack, or they don't get the victory, they quit mentally. When they were only one battle from victory. I seen a brother, true story. He quit the truth because he couldn't get a rib. He quit, and the week later he quit. The most beautiful woman on the city, northwest side. The most beautiful woman. She was more pretty than Erykah Badu, bro. Bros would be in middle school. I remember in middle school looking at her. I looked at her in middle school. I was like this. I was like, my mouth would be open. She was the prettiest girl on the northwest side of San Antonio. Prettiest black girl. Bar none. Nobody faded her out. Right? And this is a true story, bro. And my brother in Christ, we're working. He's trying to talk to her, this and that, and whatever. But he tried this female. She didn't come through. She was snake eyes, like how it goes. And he rolled the dice and it didn't work out, as usual, right? And then he quit, didn't come back to the camp, went homeless, gave up on life, and a week later she came through asking about him, looking for him. And then the week after she came back in looking for him. And she was trying to go to class.
Wow.
That's what happens when you focus on your doubts and your failures more than your successes. I never got to tell the brother what happened. I never got to tell him what.
Right.
I never got to tell him that the most beautiful girl that he talked to at the cart, the one that my homeboy's sister, he was in love with her. Everybody was, right? Since middle school. I never got to tell the brother she came looking for him out. I could never tell him. He was too focused on selling get-rich-quick schemes and little hustles. He went back to the old way. And he didn't want to talk anymore. He didn't want to conversate no more. So I could never tell him. She was looking for him. And she ends up marrying a nation. That's the story. Why did that happen? The Most High had his blessing for him, But he didn't keep fixing himself and reformatting himself for the blessings that God had for him. Most High has a good husband in your life. But if you don't keep working on yourself and building yourself up and reformatting, you can lose that quality marriage. You can lose that spiritual man. You're not getting no 2, 3, 4 spiritual men. You're not getting a whole bunch of, I just want to read the Bible and teach you the truth, scriptures. Yeah, right. You're not getting that, bro. You get that once in life. Maybe twice if you wait 10 years. 10, 15 years you want to wait? Cool. You might get it again. 15 years around. 10, 15 years down the line. But you didn't value what the Most High gave you, you got to wait. Men too. Most High might give you a righteous spirit that really wants to teach. If you don't value that, cool, bro. Don't complain when you have these carnal demons that they don't want the Bible. They don't want, and brothers, those that know. But it's because you didn't want to adjust for your blessings. You didn't want to make the adjustment, the spiritual adjustment, to be able to maintain the blessing God had for you. Is that clear? Brothers want all this rank. Brothers want all this authority. But you don't make the spiritual adjustments to get the rank. Nobody's going to get here and just rank up and be bosses on brothers. We're not ranking bosses. I'm not. I'm thumbing down. You want to be a boss? You're getting thumbs down. You're going to serve and wash brothers' feet and be a slave for these brothers. That's what it's going to be. That's what I call it. I had to do it. What do you want, huh? What do you want to do? You cuss me out today, huh? Come on, Shalom. Cuss me out today, brother. You got to be that dude. Let men be weak around you, and don't take them personal, and keep building their spirit up until they can respect you because you have scriptures. Is that what you're going through? Is that what brothers go through?
Yeah.
Getting vomited on, and then washing yourself and washing them the scriptures until they trust you. What do you think a new wife's about? What do you think a new brother in the camp's about? You think you're going to come to the truth straight from weak demons and just want to sit here and lock in the brothers? Come on, bro. We're going to come here rebelling and bucking. The question is, are you going to let go of your old way and keep reformatting yourself in the new way so you can help the new men and be of substance for them and service them? Then you can find happiness in the truth because you have something to give them. You want a new wife? Do you have something to give a new wife? You want more brothers, new brothers? Do you have something to give new brothers? You want to split the school and build another school? Do you put yourself in the position to build new men and be there for new men? Or do you just want to be yourself and lock into you? Keep reading. Verse 25.
Verse 30.
St. John 10, 35, 25.
St. John 10, and now.
And the point we're dealing with Pharisees. St. John 10, 35, 25.
St. John chapter 10, verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Yahushua answered them, I told you, and ye believe not.
So what's that saying, Elisha? You tell brother they don't believe. What does that mean?
They don't trust you.
They don't trust. We don't?
It says, the works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me.
So what were the Pharisees thinking? They're thinking Christ is trying to take the people from us.
Yeah.
They're not thinking that Christ is trying to sit here and legitimately kill people. They're thinking Christ wants to shine. He wants the glory.
Usurp authority.
He wants to usurp authority from us. So we're going to resist him. That perspective had them resisting Christ. Go to Psalm 78, verse 32.
Psalms chapter 78, verse 32.
Uh-huh. So what's the point of this? We'll get to the point. Read it real quick.
God, for all this, they sin still and believe not for his wondrous works.
The problem is, if you don't believe the words, do you believe the physical works the Most High is doing for you? That's the problem. That's why we're on the hook. He said, the previous scripture said, I told you, and you didn't believe me. Scripture before that says, if you don't believe me, and what I'm telling you, believe the works. Right here they're saying, listen, they still sin because they did not believe the works. The problem is we don't believe the physical blessing the Most High gives to us every day. You don't acknowledge the stability you have. You don't acknowledge the changes that you have made already in the past. If you've been here more than 2 years, then you've been through changes, you've made changes. But you don't believe in them anymore. It's like people are short-sighted. It's like, do you believe the physical works that have happened? Do you believe in the physical changes of condition that the truth and the scriptures and the Spirit of Christ has done for you? Do you believe in what's already been done? You've already had this experience. You already watched the sea split. You saw Pharaoh and his army drown. You saw water come out the stone. You saw a chariot, a pillar of fire by day, a cloud by day, and a pillar of fire by night. You've seen an earthquake and none of people got swallowed up. You've seen these things, and you're still stubborn and stuck on your old knowledge, in your old way. That's dangerous, bro. Next scripture, St. John 9:27.
John chapter 9, verse 27.
Uh-huh. Now this is a brother speaking that the miracle happened for him. St. John chapter 9, verse 27.
He answered them, I have told you already, and ye did not hear.
So this guy, Christ did a miracle. And he's talking to the Pharisees. And he told the Pharisees, listen, man, I already told you Christ did this miracle. But you're not getting it. You're not computing it. It's like men when we get the same counsel over and over again, the same advice, and we don't hear it. Read.
He answered them, I have told you already, and ye did not hear.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore would ye hear it again?
They're pressing him. He's like, I already told you the answer. Christ did this miracle. Christ healed me. Read on.
Will ye also be his disciples?
What's that point really saying? Listen, if you see all these miracles, bro, and you see people changing around you, are you going to be Christ's disciple? It works for somebody else. The truth is working for somebody. Some brothers say the truth don't work. They make videos about it.
Yeah.
They make videos about it. They don't make a video about, I saw it work for other people, but it didn't work for me. I never seen that video online. I never see the video of it worked for other people, but it didn't work for me. That's the truth. Why did the truth not work for you, but it worked for them? Because one person let go of their stubborn way. Another person did. Same knowledge.
You're going to follow and commit. You know,
Remember,
be that disciple.
Remember. There weren't many miracles done where? Why?
They all they remember was his past work.
All they remember was he was a carpenter. This the carpenter's son? They're too focused on what they used to, what it used to be. They see Christ as the carpenter's son. They don't see the spiritual righteous man that he is now. Yes, sir.
Can you also say they was also locking into the Pharisees' mindset, frame of mind during that time period as well too?
I'm not going to say that. I can't confirm that. Maybe it's the case. I know what they said out their mouth. They verbally said, this was the carpenter's son. I'm not going to sit here and follow this guy, even though he's doing miracles in front of my eyes. I'm watching people get healed. I want to focus on his old job. Hey, he's working at McDonald's. Ain't no way I'm locking this dude. He worked at McDonald's. Ain't no way he's this Bible guy.
They said, are his brother and sisters with him? Like, he's the only one that has this wisdom. What about them?
Listen, bro. Why is this guy the spiritual man now? I remember you played football back then. You're a football player, bro. You ain't no damn Bible scholar. You're a football player. You're a jock, sir. You're a rapper.
That's not like I went to school with you. Bro. I know what you was about.
Yeah, listen. You're an ex-game banger. You're a rapper. You're a jock. You went to school. You're an ex-vato. I'm not following you, bro. That's how our people look. They won't let go of their old perspective to get something better. They could have got miracles.
That's what they're loyal to.
They're loyal to that. They could have got miracles. The Pharisees, they could have got the knowledge Paul had, because Paul used to be a Pharisee. We forsake the new blessings and the wisdom of God just to maintain an old perspective and old knowledge that doesn't work for us. It's just we're comfortable with it. But who loses? We do. We stay running in place. And then we say the truth don't work. The Bible don't work. The can't don't work. The poet don't work. Or do I not sit here and let go of the things, the root issues that block me from changing? It's always a root problem that we're not addressing. So we can deal with it and get the understanding of that root problem. You're opening the door for a lot of growth. You're opening the door for growth. if you can stop fearing rejection, if you can stop fearing men letting you down, it's going to happen, bro. For every one person that let you down, there'll be 10 people that don't let you down. So that's what I learned. It's a part of the game, but listen, bro, for every brother that don't like you, there's 3 brothers that do like you. For every brother that want to argue with you, guess what? There's 5 brothers that want to have a good time with you. Why am I focusing on the one person that want to argue with me? I had to tell myself that. I'm focusing on the wrong thing. That's where the Pharisees failed. That's where the people that were from Christ's neighborhood failed. They're focusing on Christ's past. Don't you see that focusing on the past is why you're not growing in the present? Ham was so upset about the pre-flood situation, losing the gods on the planet. He was so upset about what he lost. He couldn't get a new world. The Pharisees. Go ahead. Pull it.
I just want to pull that. It's on that concept. Jeremiah 44 and verse 16. We're going to read down. Because what you're saying is, when we can't let go of past ambitions, past comfort, past hopes, past dreams, aspirations, what happens is it keeps us running in place. It's when you read about in Ecclesiastes, that's about the foolish man is like a rolling axle. Exactly. So that rolling, I got it. What'd you say? The heart of the foolish. It's like an axle tree. But the reason I go there is you're mentally running in place. You're no longer progressing in the spirit. You see, Jeremiah gave the people of Israel a great opportunity. That if you serve God, you'll get your land back eventually. If you serve God, you'll get your stability back eventually.
33 and 5 of Ecclesiastes, if you're looking for that scripture.
Yeah, read that real quick, just before we get to that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 5. The heart of the foolish is like a cartwheel, and his thoughts are like a rolling axle tree.
Meaning, the person that stays in a foolish or a base state of mind is a person that always reverts back to their lowest state of mind, the lowest form of comforts, the lowest form of dreams and aspirations. Never look forward. They never look for the next step. Never look for the next goal.
The old knowledge.
The old knowledge.
They're comfortable with the old knowledge.
The old way. They always circle back to the old way.
Yeah.
Because the old way is their comfort. Their old way is how they keep stable. So we're going to read a perfect example. Give me Jeremiah 44 and verse 16.
You know, it didn't work, though. It hasn't worked.
And it's a cycle because we try to be spiritual for a moment, and then we go right back into our own negative again. You see, Israel at this point, Jeremiah, was trying to be spiritual. They told Jeremiah, petition to the Lord for us. Ask the Lord how we get closer to Him. And tell us what to do. Give me that in verse 16.
Jeremiah chapter 44 and verse 16. As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us.
So Jeremiah gave them an answer. We're not going to read the whole story. Jeremiah was saying, put your old gods away, remove your old idols, and serve the Most High sincerely. What did the people say in response? Now, mind you, they asked Jeremiah what they should do to get closer to God. Read on.
As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not.
What?
We will not hearken unto thee.
So instead of saying we're going to change, we're going to be reborn, we're going to be reformed, we say, I'm not doing that. That's too much. We'll get classes, and in the back of our head, if it's too extreme, we'll say, I'm not doing that. That's unnecessary. That's extra. That's too much.
You're demotivating yourself.
You devote, and you're also exactly. You're telling yourself, I can't do that. You put a blocker on your spiritual growth. Therefore, you're that rolling axle wheel. You're going right back into that base mentality because in your head, I can't go forward.
That defeatist mindset.
It is a defeatist mindset, and it's a complacent mindset. It's a mindset that's okay with staying where you're at spiritually, staying where you're at according to your wisdom. Because in your head, you're okay. You're not that bad. So they said, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that, Jeremiah. Read on.
But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth.
So not only am I not doing what the Lord said, I'm going to double down and certainly do what my mind says I'm going to want to do.
It's crazy.
What I tell myself is just, that's what I'm going to do.
That's crazy.
What I tell myself is the goal, that's what I'm going to
I'm establishing my own righteousness.
Exactly.
It's crazy, bro.
Because that's what we do.
It's crazy.
We establish our own righteousness because God's righteousness is something I'm not okay with. Because when I go after God's righteousness, I lose those comforts.
And it's too uncomfortable. Yeah, right. It's too uncomfortable.
I lose my comforts. You gonna say it? Read on.
God. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing.
Okay, I see this right here. And where's your point? So when we're walking the wilderness, you don't know where you're going until God tells you to go there.
I know.
That's unfamiliar territory for 40 years.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where you're gonna go. You just keep seeing the same landmarks.
You don't know if it's gonna stop. Yeah, you're getting blessings. You're getting taken care of, but it's not what you want. It's not the blessing that you want.
It's not the direction I want to go.
Or the pace.
I want to go over here where these mansions are at.
Yep.
And you want me to go over there.
There's a nice oasis over here with the mansions and everybody smiling and parties and there's campfires. I'm over here walking in the sand, sweating.
It sucks.
I'm sweating and I get mad but they eating steaks every day. I don't like that. So what they're saying is, ever since I served God, for some reason I'm losing more. So what do we say? If I'm gonna lose more of God, then I'm gonna go back to the world. There's no point.
He said, players do what they want to do, suckers do what they can.
Exactly. I ain't no sucker. I'm not no scrub. I ain't no sucker. Look, I'm tired of passenger driving. A lot of men are getting tired of passenger driving. So when I was in the world, I had my own whip. I go on the truth. All of a sudden, I lost my whip. Now my status is lower. Now the honeys ain't looking at me no more. Now I feel uncomfortable.
I got a woolly face now. I got that
woolly face. I don't look as crisp. I don't feel as confident. I'm not walking as tall as I used to walk. So this is where men get into this mode of, I'm going to do what I want to do. I would like to see her.
Yeah.
I would like to do my own thing. I would like to do my own thing. Read on.
God. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth. To burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven.
I'm going back to my own system, my own program. Read.
I know I was this stressed. I'm more stressed out in the truth than I was in the world.
And that's the point. I got more grays now. I'm losing. I'm gaining weight all of a sudden. I'm gaining weight. I don't read anymore. I just feel like I lost spirituality since I came in the truth. I feel like I've gotten more detached since I came in the truth. This is what they're saying. Ever since I came here, my life has got worse. It's got harder.
Aesthetics are gone.
All that, all of my pride, all my strength.
But that's just a
gone.
temporary part of life. It wasn't and obviously you know what's going on.
It's the molding process. But I don't look at my life changing into uncomfortability as a molding process. I look at it like I'm being destroyed. I'm being
men aren't checking for this saying. If you're I'm just translating the women's side. You're not getting the attention you got before the truth.
Yes.
Unfortunately, when you wore the tight outfits and the revealing clothing, you got non-stop options.
Yes.
But all those options were carnal.
Now my self-esteem is lower.
Now, if you based your self-esteem off the options you got and the attention you got, now you have no self-esteem.
Yes.
Because your self-esteem was built on something that the Most High didn't want you to build it on.
Yeah. We don't value stability or the practice of morals or conduct.
Yeah. I'm not content with the spiritual being I am.
When you're in the world, the relationships in the world are established on instability. People get bored with stability. They call having a man that's predictable boring. Men do the same thing. Men say if a woman doesn't have any baggage, I've heard this out of their mouth, she's got to be with at least a couple guys because it ain't fun with someone who's point is brand new, no baggage, no past history. People in general are comfortable with instability.
People worship chaos.
They worship chaos.
People worship chaos because they don't look bad. Because everybody's chaotic.
Yeah.
When somebody's stable and you're not, there comes what's the term? What's the word for it? People with insecurity.
Yes, there's insecurity.
You're revealing insecurity in me because now I gotta be compared to a more stable person in your life.
Yes.
Your dad was more stable than me. Now I gotta be compared to your dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
crazy,
there's certain men that will only talk to women who came from broken homes, and that is there's no other option for them.
It's a predatory practice
because they know they're easily manipulative,
and they're predictable.
They're predictable. But the point is, when we operate in this mindset of, I don't want to do God's work, how are we rationalizing it? Read on.
God. You want it from the top, sir? Or?
No, just keep reading.
God. And to pour out drink offerings under her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes, in the cities of Judah.
So he said, what they're saying as a unit, when we did our traditions, remember, a lot of these customs and practices are traditional.
Yep.
You know what? When the truth don't work, I'm gonna go back to what mom and daddy always
If
taught
it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
Mom always told me these guys is weird. Mom always told me these hey, this program is weird. This is a cult. This is something else. Don't do that. Do what I always taught you. Dad always told me to do this. Because when we did this, at least you know the outcome. The problem is we like to know the outcome. Yeah, mom and dad ain't perfect, but I know what they're going to look like if I do the same steps. We don't like walking in uncertainty. So Israel is now, we're in the wilderness, we're walking in uncertainty. In this situation, I know if I follow God, if I follow the Most High, there's uncertainty behind that. Versus when I was following my idols, I had a finite and a fixed result. If I gave this up, I was going to get this. If I work this 9 to 5, I don't got spirituality, but I got a finite result.
At the cost of my spirit.
At the cost of my spirit. But I know what I'm going to get out of this. I don't know what I'm going to get out of this truth thing. This truth thing is a gamble.
So let me master the knowledge of reproducing this carnal outcome based off of the traditions, gods, and knowledge of my parents' neighborhood past life.
Exactly.
Keep going.
Read on.
Going in the right direction.
God, and in the streets of Jerusalem, for then had we plenty of victuals.
Yep, we had plenty of victuals. Victuals.
I had enough. Victuals is food.
Yeah.
I had substance. I had supply.
I was never lacking.
I never lacked, bro.
I had what I had. Look, I might, it's crazy. We're going to keep reading. Keep reading real quick.
Listen, when I was the carnal man, I'm not going to lie. Pre-truth, I was good.
Brother, I'm talking about Whataburger and Cane's same day.
Listen,
come on, bro.
Listen,
I'm blowing 30, 40 a day now.
Listen,
come on now.
Pre-truth?
Look, I had a lot of victuals, man.
Listen, pre-truth, it depends what kind of man you are. But I'm not going to take your point away. Pre-truth, whatever you feel like you're lacking now, I'm lacking this now. Pre-truth, you had a whole bunch of what you lacked now.
Yeah.
And when you're lacking now, you're in the land of the dry right now. You're waiting for God to drop a blessing on you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're waiting for a blessing out the sky.
Yeah.
But when you were carnal in the flesh and you lived according to the rules and the knowledge of the flesh, you had what you needed when you needed. You just felt so far from God.
Yeah.
I can't explain why I'm so far from God, but I got my carnal
else that I want
taken care of.
Yeah. And it's not like, the crazy thing is this. It's not like having a desire or wanting stability is a bad thing. But the problem is, or what happens is, as you walk in Christ, how you look at desires, how you look at comforts, how you look at stability, is supposed to change. And this is what the whole point of the topic is. It's supposed to be reformed to where what you previously associated with stability, what you previously associated with comforts, is no longer the same thing anymore. That's how you know you've grown. If you're the type of person, right, that tripped every time your car went down before pre-truth and you had to fix it right then and there, can you be the guy now that's okay with just letting the Most High work it the way he had to work it? Are you okay with walking by faith? I've seen situations where men be dead broke, car break down, and we get a $300 tip that same day.
Yep.
And you just operate day by day with just faith. I'm going to hope this works out.
And
the Most High bless
the Most High come through. I heard a story. That's not a story. I've seen a person that said, I ain't really good. If I don't have 3 stacks in my bank, if I don't have 3,000 in my bank account, I can't function.
Oh, yeah.
But I cannot function if I'm under 3 stacks in my bank account. I cannot function. You leave no room for the development of faith, is my point.
Exactly. There's no room for God because you're afraid of the worst to happen. And because you're afraid of the worst to happen, you rather compromise morals, spirit, and what the Most High wants, your development. Because of that, read on. Because that's what they said.
And were well, and saw no evil.
When they served them, and they followed after the tradition that they were taught, they didn't see evil. They had their comforts. Now, the crazy thing is this. If they really saw no evil, then why would they seek after Jeremiah to get God's approval? If they were as whole as they're making it seem right now, if they had everything that they wanted, then what's the need of seeking a prophet? Why go to church? Why go to class? Why read the Bible? If you think you got it all.
Because I know that I'm missing something.
Yes.
But I don't want to sacrifice my traditions and knowledge for something greater at the cost of my comforts and inconvenience.
Yes.
Or convenience.
Okay.
So the point is, I love where you're going. Getting that new knowledge comes with the sacrifice of convenience and comes at the cost of learning patience.
Yes. Yes.
But in that experience will destroy for lack of knowledge. When you get the experience of how to survive with brotherhood, survive with faith, survive with scriptural wisdom, survive with counsel. Now you're not destroyed anymore.
No.
But if you don't get that experience, you stay destroyed. If I don't learn how to submit, I stay destroyed. If I don't learn how to have study ethic, I stay destroyed. If I don't learn how to communicate, for brothers that are in the truth, I stay destroyed. If I don't learn how to study, listen, my mind was never going to... Listen, bro, until I committed my whole life to just reading and reading and reading and communicating and reading and communicating, my mind was like the stock market, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Oh, today, we're 10 points down today. It's over. Let's kill ourselves. Get off the building. Where things are looking up. Things are great. It's never been this good. We're on a slow incline. We're 5% down this week. We're going to be okay. Just a slight correction. There's in a quarter from now, we're projecting 25% blessings coming.
Biden has one of those crazy interviews out and all the stocks crash.
Yeah. You wake up, everything's red. It's all red. It's over.
Bro, it's over.
It's over. The Arabians are coming. They're going to buy everything.
He called China a dictator.
There's a trade war going on. Your life is over. Listen, bro. My mind was like the stock market, bro. Every week to week, there's a different mindset, different mentality. I'm a different person week to week. I said, this is a problem, bro.
Yes.
I can't lead brothers. I'm the same. I'm like a different dude. Okay, okay, hit me up, bro. You keep change. People can't follow because you change too much, huh? So what are you talking about, huh? I'm just me. That's the problem, bro. The problem is you're just you. Are you gonna adapt a new way and stabilize your spirit for the benefit of others?
Yes.
So that you have something to give the new people.
Yep.
So that you have something to give your family, your wife, your kids, your brothers. By you accepting the new changes, you can find the real joy because you have something to give. For the women that learn how to submit and serve their husbands properly, they can teach the new sisters. They'll have a clue. I'm not talking about sisters in this room. I'm talking about the sisters that are coming out of Scissorland. Right? They listen to Scissor. Right? Scissors, they counselor, right?
Yes,
listen, Scissor ain't a good counselor. You listen to her lyrics, right? Cardi B is not the counselor to listen to, right? She just had a failed marriage.
Scissor put murder thoughts in women. Right?
Yeah, Scissor's a dangerous person. Right?
Remember, she just had an album. It was Love the Lord, Controller.
Listen, bro.
Are you in there? Huh?
Listen, bro. He knows. This guy knows. He's been studying the wicked. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. At least you're giving some current information. But this is the next generation's counselors.
Yes.
And so, listen, this information, this Bible stuff, they're not going to listen to scruffy-faced dudes out here. They're not going to hear us for a long time. So the new sisters that are here right now that are learning the scriptures got to have this information and have something to give these sisters from their own experiences, their own testimonies.
Which means you have to stop looking at the transition that you've been put through as a burden or as you've lost something. Stop comparing your new life to your traditional life. Stop comparing your relation now to your traditional household, the one that you grew up in, the one that you saw or thought you were going to grow up in. The fairy tales, the Cinderella stories you thought you had in your head. For men, whatever idea that you thought you were going to be and whatever strength you thought you were going to have in the world,
whatever delusion of grandeur you came from.
Delusion, disassociate from that. Because if you don't dissociate from that, and you look at everything you do as you're lacking, as you're wanting, what's going to start happening is you're going to keep disconnecting further and further from the spirit.
And you'll teach your wife that this life don't work.
Exactly.
If you want to be a buck, if you want to keep it a buck. But by you not finding confidence in this life, you're teaching your children and the ones that depend on you that this ain't the life to live. Because you're not content or you're uncomfortable, you're not happy.
And you know that's the case because even in this story, when you read it, it was talking about how the men knew that their wives were slipping. The men knew that their wives were baking cakes for the idols. Knew that their wives were sitting here serving God.
Queen of Heaven.
Or Queen of Heaven. But they were allowing it because they themselves were serving their own individual idols. See, the family or the husband mirrors the wife and the wife mirrors the family in a very low spiritual state. In this case, because the men thought that they were lacking, now the women are bold telling Jeremiah, we ain't serving you. We're going to do our own thing because we're lacking. Because they feel like they're being backed by the husband. Because the husband also doesn't believe.
They're both negative.
They're both negative. There's a whole household is negative. And the whole household is telling themselves, if I serve God, I'm going to start lacking. I'm going to start losing. So why do it? Why take the chance?
So my question is this. At some point in life, you have to go through darkness to get to the light.
Yeah.
You got to go through the storm to get to the sunshine. Yeah, you gotta go that ugly duckling phase to become a swan. I'm just using whatever terms people can relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah, go through
A metamorphosis.
Yeah, go through a metamorphosis stage. You gotta go through some butterfly. You gotta be a caterpillar to become a butterfly.
Yes.
You gotta go through some stage of extreme discomfort in order to blossom as that righteous spiritual example.
Exactly.
And then start the cycle over again. And the Most High has higher expectations of you. But we quit midway, like the Pharisees.
Yes.
This is too unrelatable. I can't do miracles. If you can't do miracles, that means you got to follow the one doing the miracles. I ain't finna do that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna attack the good examples.
Yep.
Ham, listen, man, I got a whole new life in front of me. I missed the old life. I'm finna teach my sons to go against this invisible God and my father worships. Don't be thankful that you didn't drown. Oh, you lived. Your friends died. You're sitting here angry? The nerve. All your friends are dead. That could have been you too.
Yes.
People be getting in the truth, and the Most High saved them, and they be mad that their friends are spiritually dead. They be mad that they're not living like their spiritually dead friends.
Yes.
Most High saved you, and then saved them, and you're mad at God.
Yes.
We're insane.
We envy the foolish.
We envy the foolish.
Because on the outside, keep reading that point in verse 18.
Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 18.
Because just like the person that's envying the friend that stayed in the world, that got their master's degree, that's getting their doctorate, that's got the high paying job, that's supposedly living the American dream. Right? Because that's what a lot of it is. Especially if you're young in the truth, you're seeing people grow and establish as you're growing and establishing. You're starting to see the different courses and different directions men and women are taking. So what do they say when they see this? Read on.
But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven.
So since we stopped serving these idols, the Queen of Heaven is just another idol.
Another security net.
Another security net. That was a traditional thing. Read on.
And to pour out drink offerings under her.
So we stopped serving, we stopped dedicating our mind and our time to this idol. The contrary pathway. The contrary lifestyle. Read on.
We have wanted all things.
We have wanted, meaning we've lacked all things. What were they really lacking? Remember the story in Haggai when the Most High came down and told them, stop investing all your time into your houses. He said, is this the time for you to be building houses? He said what? Yeah, is it time to be dwelling in sealed houses? What was he really saying? Was he saying you can't have a house? Or was he saying you're putting all your time, your energy, and your money into decking out your house?
Your happiness shouldn't be over here. It should be over here.
Your happiness is in the wrong direction. They were just wanting some type of stability. The sealed house is just a covering so the rain can't get in and the furniture ain't getting all messed up. That's what they were doing. Is that necessarily wicked? It's not that it was wicked. It's what were your priorities at? It's not the time for that right now. It wasn't the time for the focus on their stability. It was time to focus on their spiritual stability. And then let everything else be added onto them. Isn't that what Matthew 6:33 says?
So what's blocking me from seeing it that way? That one has to be attacked.
The fact that I think I'm losing. What's blocking me from seeing it in a spiritual way is if I, like Matthew 6:33, see Christ. Read that real quick. I don't want to butcher it. What's blocking me from seeing that is I'm looking at my life as I'm losing. If I seek after Christ, the spiritual rebirth that the Most High is requiring me to go through. If I do that first, I'm going to lose. I'm going to be lacking. Read.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High.
Priority.
And his righteousness.
His kingdom of the Most High.
Yeah.
Remember, who was the kingdom of the Most High? The people. The kingdom is within you.
Your nation.
It's within us. If you seek your people and their stability,
serving your people,
serving them first, making them the priority, and his righteousness, which is the proper way of thinking and operating within that group, within that body. Read on.
And all these things shall be added unto you.
Now, whatever else that you were needing, the Most High will fill those gaps. Remember, he knows what you need.
In time.
In time. It's not on your time.
Yeah.
But in time, he'll give you what you need. So stop making what you need the priority. Stop making what you need the first thing you do. And then you start tapping into the kingdom of heaven and tapping into His
The
righteousness.
Most High in Christ, and the development and the wisdom of the scriptures and the changing is secondary to my physical need or my carnal needs or just where I lack or my insecurities.
Exactly.
You done with that scripture?
Yeah, I'm done. Okay.
I want to pull here because it's going the same direction. The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 12. The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 12. Might as well go here, bro.
Come. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 12 reads, For the bewitching of naughtiness doeth obscure things that are honest.
Read it again.
For the bewitching of naughtiness doeth obscure things that are honest.
And we got to break that down because it sounds really like cloudy, right?
Yep.
Look up the word bewitch, 1828. The word bewitch, 1828.
Bewitch, 1828.
Mm-hmm.
To charm,
To what?
to charm,
Read on.
to fascinate, to please to such a degree as to take away the power of resistance.
So read that again in the definition again, sir.
Bewitch, 1828, Webster's Dictionary, point number 1. To charm,
To the charming of naughtiness. What else?
to fascinate,
The fascination of naughtiness.
Yes.
Read on.
to please,
The pleasure associated with naughtiness. What else?
to please to such a degree as to take away the power of resistance.
The things that pull away your ability to resist, which is called persuasion. The persuasive nature of naughtiness. What else?
To deceive.
The deceptive nature of naughtiness. Read on.
To deceive and mislead.
The
by juggling tricks.
The misleading nature by form of what?
By juggling tricks.
By juggling tricks. What is that saying? There are just multiple deceptions. There are multiple illusions. There are multiple temporary pleasures or temporary solutions. But not long-term solutions.
Yes.
It's a solution for a couple days, a couple minutes, maybe even a couple weeks. But it's not the long-term solution. So people get deceived by these short-term, they juggle short-term answers.
Perfect example, COVID. COVID in the sense of destroying the psyche of young women. I'm going to explain that. The bewitching that COVID took place is, one, established fear. I'm going to establish fear. And when people live in fear, when there's a financial doubt, when there's financial crisis, the next step for women is normally prostitution. If you look at third world societies, third world cultures, most third world cultures tend to go into a prostitution route for women. So what was the prostitution that was going on during COVID? OnlyFans. OnlyFans became a multi-billion-dollar industry.
But our future, what our future was it? OnlyFans blew up.
OnlyFans blew up because now women were given the option to have a successful career in prostitution. And I'm going to glorify it as a sexual revolution. There's instability in the economy right now. There's no jobs. What else can you do? It's not a bad thing. Now we're going to send out blogs explaining how it's okay. It's a new generation. You're not a bad person for doing it. The consequence of that was after COVID ended, after OnlyFans himself tried to change their public perception. So instead of being known as the prostitution site, they're trying to be known as a decent company. After all the hype and the deception and the bewitching was done, now women are left with scars because now they're realizing, man, this is always going to be here. This is always going to be attached to my name. Now my kids are getting made fun of at school. Because now you look on TikToks, they'll be crying on TikTok like, man, my son just got made fun of because his students found my OnlyFans.
That's the sacrifice, though.
That was the sacrifice. It was the bewitching of naughtiness. I made you think like this was a good thing. I made you think that you're just providing for your family.
You can be independent.
You can be independent. Your own entrepreneur. Yes, your children, of your siblings, of your parents, of your name, of your identity. I'm going to be with you, make you think this is okay. And now that you're going to try to settle down now, all out of the hoopla down, you got a career and you want to be a nurse in the industry, you can't get a job because everybody can find your OnlyFans. You can't be a teacher because they find your OnlyFans. You can't do anything because they're finding your OnlyFans now. And now you're stuck with the result. When you could have had an honest living, an honest lifestyle, a sincere lifestyle.
I want to put the definition of bewitch. Another definition of bewitch is encanto, right? Which is Latin, right? Incantation. It's another word for bewitch, right?
Yes.
Incantation. Encanto, or to sing. So another term for bewitch is to sing. So by the singing, it does what? It creates that nothingness.
The singing is what people is what people muse over. It's what people think about.
But it's in the music.
Exactly.
People sing about coming up, sing about these ideas.
Yes.
And when they sing about it, it makes the idea acceptable. Go ahead.
It's like a lubricant.
Exactly.
It eases the message across and it makes it more palatable.
This pill is jagged. So let me go ahead and put a gel coat around it.
Yeah.
So now this poison is easy to take in. Yes, sir.
Well, that's in that definition of obscure.
Yeah.
And it says it hides. It says to hide from view. So it hides what the honest and true result of the actions is going to be. So you don't even see the consequences coming.
It became normal.
Yeah, it normalizes. Or you don't see. Listen, what does the devil do? He plays a game where you get to have this, but you don't. I'm going to tell you what you're going to lose. The Most High is keeping it real with you. You're going to lose this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Most High is real. You're going to lose these things, but you're going to gain this. Satan's like, you're going to get everything. He don't tell you what you're going to lose.
And he don't tell you it don't last forever.
He'll tell you it's temporary. You're losing on both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So the bewitching of what?
For the bewitching of naughtiness doeth obscure things that are honest.
What is honest? The scriptures are honest. The examples of elder sisters is honest. The righteous path to living that's basic, slow, and simple is honest.
Virtues, chastity, modesty, discernment.
Those principles are what?
They're honest.
They're honest. It's the truth.
Yes.
So, but because the truth is not stimulating enough, let me go ahead and play this entertainment, distraction, temporary comfort game and keep telling you that you can make it in this world, in this society. Even the dollar's falling.
Yep.
All the people online, the dollar's falling. People should know this already.
But you got a money phone.
Listen, yeah, but look, the dollar's falling. You're going to have a whole lot of spiritual virtues to survive the new world. This world right here is just temporary. This world is a temporary world. And in your lifetime, you're going to see society on this collapse. It's going to be hard out here for people. Let all the people come into America for a reason, bro. So people can normalize third world conditions in America. If you want to be honest with it. The goal is to normalize third world conditions. So while you're sitting here being distracted and caught up into the juggling and the diversion of your focus, the Most High is still allowing the society to collapse on a moral level, on an economic level, on a family level, on every level, until it's at our front doors. And then all the chasing of those bewitching crafts and those false ideals and those false traditions are going to be of no service in the new world. You have to have faith. You're going to have patience. You're going to have brotherhood. You're going to have relationships. You have to have trust. You have to have the ability to make good decisions. You have to have the ability to deny yourself and discipline. You got to have those skill sets that the new man needed. But I didn't feed the new man because I was too stubborn. I missed the old way. I don't want to give up my thinking, my opinion. I don't want to be subject to a teacher. I don't want to be subject to a class. I don't want to be subject to a set of principles that make me feel vulnerable or uncomfortable. But I get exposed when the world is on its collapse. Because I don't have the spiritual skill sets to maintain myself. If I'm collapsing mentally when the world's easy, how's it be when the world's hard? We're not in third world conditions yet. The water's still clean come out for most people. Certain cities it's not. Flint, other parts, and parts of Texas too. They got gasoline come out they can light a match and light the fire come out their sink, out their faucet. Yeah, because of the fracking. They do all this fracking and disturb the earth. So now it's polluting the water. So when you
methane.
Yeah, there's methane in the water. There's chemicals in the water that are flammable. So it's not widespread yet. But these situations are on their way to everybody's household. And if you don't have that connection with God and that new knowledge and that new ability to function with Him and that simplicity of life, you're going to sit here and be suffering on a deeper level than the average people, or a deeper level than a spiritual person. Read on.
Come. For the bewitching of naughtiness do obscure things that are honest.
The juggling of these tricks and these illusions obscure and take away from the potency and strength of righteous judgment. Read.
And the wandering of concupiscence doeth undermine the simple mind.
The simple mind is deceived by people that win in the flesh in the world. Simple as that. Like Elisha said early in the class. Because people are in mansions or people are doing well, the wicked are winning. It undermines what? It is a mental attack against people that it makes this truth thing a challenge.
Yes.
Because digital prostitutes are winning, it makes marriage hard.
Yeah.
To be short in that arena. Because men that sell dope are winning, it kills the 9 to 5 guy. 9 to 5 guys are whack.
Yeah.
You're not a 5er, get out of here.
And they mock them. They mock them.
Yeah.
And put them on.
You're a 95. You're nothing. Yeah. You live check to check. You whatever. No, you're not a real man. Okay.
You don't let your woman just wear whatever.
Listen, listen. You don't let her live how she want to live. Listen, you insecure. You insecure, bro.
You don't buy her.
Let her be what she want to be. Let her be what she want to be. Listen, bro.
So what you're saying is everybody's perspective is changing. The problem is, what perspective are you going to allow yourself to partake in? What perspective are you going to allow yourself to be molded in? Because you can have the OnlyFans perspective. You can have the I got to be the 1%er perspective, and if I'm not a 1%er, I'm nothing. You ain't nothing in life. Or you can have the perspective of Christ, where it's not about you in the first place. It's not about what you have. It's not about what you don't have. It's not about what you're going to be in life.
It's about my salvation.
It's about your salvation, the people that you're living this life with. But again, it just depends on how do you look at serving Christ. You look at serving Christ as you're wanting everything else, or as you're lacking everything else, or are you full and are you content with what the Most High is currently giving you and what He will eventually give?
Have you trained your mind to find contentment in what's in front of you?
Yes.
Because you're going to need that mindset when we get to this third world situation. You're going to need that mentality.
Yeah.
You're going to need spiritual development. Galatians 5:19 through 21. And then Galatians 3:1. You want to pull something, pull something. Just trying to go this direction right here.
No, it's cool.
Go ahead.
Galatians 5:19.
You get it?
Now the works of the flesh are manifest.
The works of the flesh are manifest.
Which are these?
Which are these? Remember, the works come from knowledge. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not what you know, you do what you what?
No.
What you know. Read.
Adultery.
That's based off knowledge. Read.
Fornication.
Based off of knowledge. Read.
Uncleanness.
That's based off of some type of thinking pattern. I don't gotta do this, I don't gotta do that. It's not really unclean to me. Woe to him who calls good evil and evil good. You might have the idea that good, if that good idea, in your mind that's evil. And that evil idea is good. Submitting to a brother, that's evil. You might think like that. But that's what will keep you unclean with God.
You know, I like what you said, because when you look at certain cultures, like adultery in certain cultures is unheard of. There's certain cultures where it has like a 3%, maybe 1% divorce rate.
Yeah.
Because culturally, that's not, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
Or as far as, what was the other example you had? It was adultery and what? and uncleanness, or just,
Fornication.
or you look at another culture. I was reading a book about Libya, and it was talking about how when they used to have their African wars, 5-year-olds were given a gun and were taught at a very early age, your life is to kill. Your life is to be a baby assassin, pretty much. Go to these neighborhoods, pretend to be a baby, pretend to be cool, beggar, and then start shooting everybody up. That was their lifestyle. And what the guy was saying in the book was, he said, you were doing real hard drugs. They call it brown, something like that, at like 7 years old. And that was a normal thing for him. So when he went to America at like 15, when he got saved by the Great White Hope, so to speak, he got saved about to America. He was dumbfounded because he had to literally look at life in a completely different way.
The whole world wasn't like this?
It wasn't like murder, kill,
baby assassins all
day. It wasn't like baby assassins. He had to learn how to trust again because that wasn't his environment. But depending on the environment that you're either born in or choose to surround yourself in, you will eventually take on that mentality if you embrace it. Just wanted to base off.
It's based off of the knowledge that you know, based off the knowledge that you're around.
So that brown was like cocaine.
I think it was like cocaine, yeah.
Cocaine and gunpowder.
Yep. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yes, cocaine and gunpowder. It was a crazy combination. Like, bro,
listen, that's what they get off to. We look at that's crazy, but cough syrup, this is crazy.
Oh, I know. Oh yeah.
You don't got no cough. Everywhere you go, I gotta have an
dirty Sprite out. Codeine crazy.
Yeah.
I had a friend that I used to work with, and he would come to work sometimes, and he would have coal in his eyes, and he'd be coughing and sick. And one day he broke down and told me what happened, what it was. He says, "I'm addicted to Robitussin, and Robitussin, if I don't take it, it makes me sick. It makes me have a cold.
Yeah.
It makes me act like,
your body detox.
Like you do need Robitussin. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
There's a dependency on chemicals because what I know in the environment I'm from, and the knowledge I commit my mind to, that's the solution. That's the answer to problems.
Yes.
So these are the works of the flesh, just false knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Read on.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness. You want me to skip?
Just keep going. Keep going.
Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresy.
Well, we can break all this down. It just take all day. Idolatry is just false priorities, false objects. Witchcraft is what? Manipulation tactics.
Yep.
Using spiritual channels to manipulate. Unrighteous manipulation. Hatred. What is that? I don't love you. I have no love for people around me. Yeah. I have no concern. Variance. We gotta look that one up. From what I remember, variance is always being opposite and contrary with people.
Yeah.
You're always the contrary. Wherever you go, you're an oddball.
I don't agree.
You can't lock in with anybody around you. You got to be different at all times.
You're that variable.
You're always at variance. You're always at strife with people. That's a man that deals with variance. But that comes from a certain form of thinking. Yes, sir.
You want variance?
Yeah, pull it.
Variance, difference that produces dispute or controversy.
I told you, it's the brother's house. That's the demon of the brother's house. Variance. Listen, I'm just keeping it a buck with you, bro. I lived there for years. That's the demon in the house. When the men commit and come together, that no matter what, we're not going to sit here and argue and fight. That's why my counsel is always stop arguing, bro. That's the counsel. You got to learn how to love your brother and commit to your brother because nobody understands you but the men around you. People in the world don't give a damn about you. They don't understand you. At least your brother in Christ understands you.
Or will keep working with you.
He'll keep trying.
Because it's in the world, it's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I mean, I'm not giving you a third time. I may not give you a second time. You offend me one time, G. That's raps.
In the B, you get a weekly, or maybe a bi-weekly, depending on how bad it is. You get a bi-weekly forgiveness side. Most High press the reset button every week, every Monday. Boop, let it go out. Let it go out. Let it go. By spirit of variance, no matter what environment I'm in, I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not pointing nobody out. That's a spirit that has you like that. There's a certain form of thinking and set of thoughts that have you rolling like that. We don't attack that. But we attack people around us and argue with them. We don't argue with the demon inside of us. Keep going.
barriers,
Uh-huh.
emulations.
Emulation is just always copying people.
Yeah.
But
In a negative sense.
it's the negative sense. You're supposed to copy people's righteousness.
Yes.
I copy people's negative.
Yeah.
That's how he did to get his victory. I'm gonna do what he did. I don't give a damn what he do. How much stuff he had to sell? I'm gonna sell it the same way. You put it in the microwave. That's how you flipped it. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna double pot the same. Like, damn, bro, you're finding all kind of ways to photocopy and copy and paste negative to get the results you want.
Yes.
That's a real thing, bro. I'm photocopying people's negative. What did you do to manipulate him, girl? I'll buy that makeup. Oh, Kim Kardashian did that. I'm getting the BBL too. Then that's emulation. I'm emulating demons to get my way. That's a real thing. Read on.
Wrath,
Wrath. This extreme anger all the time. Read.
strife,
Same point. Read.
seditions,
Sedition is creating groups against people.
Yeah.
Read on.
heresies,
Heresy is bringing false doctrines and ideologies and act like a spiritual when you can't find the Bible. Read on.
envyings,
You know what that is.
murders,
You know what that's about. It starts in the mind first. Read.
drunkenness,
Always influenced by emotion. Always influenced by a feeling.
Drunk in the spirit.
You're drunk as hell, bro. Always rebelling. Read.
revelings,
Reveling. I gotta be out and I gotta be in a party environment at all times. I gotta be. I'm not gonna do that. Read on.
Right.
Read on. I'm not gonna say that. Doc. Read on.
and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
So these ideas and processes and spirits I'm attached to, they're not gonna go to the kingdom of the Most High. It's pre-flood knowledge, pre-flood idolatry, pre-flood solutions and to problems, pre-flood processes. Keep it a buck.
Or you won't win the love of the congregation. You won't win the love for the brotherhood.
For sure.
You won't win the love of the sisterhood.
That and that's the immediate effect. The interim effect is you ain't making the kingdom. But the immediate effect is people around you can sense those spirits on you. People around you can find a seditious spirit, can find a debating spirit, can find the emulation spirit. So because of that, they keep you at arm's distance.
And now I got people got a problem with me.
Yep.
I got a problem with them.
Yep.
Now the household is martial art. There's martial arts in the house. You gotta call the cops. They gotta break up the katana match you got going in your house. Huh?
Yeah.
Like, so be it.
This is what happens when we don't change our previous knowledge.
When we don't release the old way. That demon fights for your temple.
Yeah.
Let's go to Galatians 3:1. And we're gonna be out. Galatians 3:1.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 1.
Going back to that bewitching concept.
O foolish Galatians,
Oh, foolish Galatians. What makes me a fool? The fact that I know better.
Yep.
See, what makes the Pharisees fools? They knew better.
They go back in that cycle.
Why they know better? Because they saw the miracles.
Mm-hmm.
They saw physical miracles.
Mm-hmm.
They saw physical changes. They saw Christ and didn't accept him. Then they saw people that served Christ that got miracles done on them and they didn't accept that. It's the fact whatever you was in your head got you not accepting. So because you're not going to accept, you're subject to bewitching. You're subject to negative persuasion, playing on all of your insecurities and fears. I'm going to be abandoned, so you seek independence. I'm gonna be taken advantage of, so you seek to control every circumstance of your life. All Satan has to do is look at where your weaknesses are and create a spiritual attack based on your weaknesses. This person can't take being alone. Some have their family rejected, and to push you away from Christ. Because I know if your family rejects you, you're gonna stop going to class. We had good brothers come here, brand new fresh brothers, and their parents said, if you keep going to class, I'm not gonna pay your bills no more. His brother disappeared, and the brother was smart brother, very smart brother. He's a Buddhist now. Come on. That's the funny part. Years later, I'm dancing and stuff. I'm dancing, right? I'm doing my little dancing stuff, right? Hey, what's up, bro? What's going on? How you been doing? Man, I just came back from Korea. Like, what's going on in Korea? Oh, I'm on a Buddhist trip. But you know the damn truth, huh? You know the scriptures. Why are you a Buddhist?
7 years in Tibet.
Because his mama said he couldn't do this, so he's gonna stop paying his bills. His fear of mama not paying his bills no more led him to becoming a Buddhist.
But you let him be a Buddhist?
I didn't let him do anything. He's a grown man, bro.
No, I mean,
She let him be a
his
Buddhist.
mama let him be a
His mama don't care. They'll be around those dudes with those beards, man. You're from those guys.
Yeah.
You're changing.
She was the obstacle Satan used to keep him from being enlightened.
His fear of not being funded by his mother, he lost in that fear and lost the wisdom of the scriptures and became a guy worshiping a Chinese fat man. That's what it really is.
Put your coin in.
Listen, bro, and the Chinese fat man says to find inner peace by closing your eyes and thinking and meditating, but don't pursue God. Pursue your own peace. That's why I said, whether you're going to the east of the world, philosophy, or going to the west part of the world, Epicureanism, tapping into all the different sensations, we're going to deep sensations or deep internal peace without God, both processes are negative. And those knowledges take away from Christ. And you're going to lose your salvation behind that. All right? So this is right here. Oh, foolish what?
Galatians.
All Galatians represents is just people that got the scriptures and know the Bible, but they're just not fully formatted into the book yet. Read.
Who hath bewitched you?
Who persuaded you? Read.
Who hath bewitched you that ye should not obey the truth?
You're not obeying the truth because of a reason. There's a reason you're not obeying the truth. There's a reason you're not changing. There's a reason you're not submitting. There's a reason you're not communicating. There's a reason you're not studying. There's a reason you're not praying. There's a reason you're not growing. There's a reason, bro. We don't look at the reason. We just blame people.
Mm-hmm.
That's my damn husband. It's the rib you say. It's this damn elder. This wicked elder. This mean elder. I use that one. The mean elder. It's the job you gave me.
Yeah.
It's the camp you gave me, Lord. But there's all kind of reasons. What's going to separate you from the love of Christ? And Christ is the author of our salvation. And if he's the author, authors have what? Books. And books are what? Knowledge on paper. What information is going to take you away from information in the book? Read on.
That ye should not obey the truth,
Uh-huh.
before whose eyes Yahweh Shai hath been evidently set forth, crucified among you.
Listen. Before whose eyes Christ have been evidence set before you. You have physical evidence that there's a real Christ. If you're honest. If you look at your life, you have physical evidence to prove that Christ is real. You have physical experiences that you can call miracles. That Christ and the Bible is true. And then if you don't got it, there's people you met that have had those experiences that can give testimonies. And if you're here long enough, you have your own. Are you going to go against your testimonies and against what you've seen spiritually? Your pillar of fire? Your cloud by day? Your Red Sea experience? To go back to the flood knowledge, pre-flood knowledge? To go back to what you're familiar with? To go back to your reason why I do it? This is why I do that? You're not going to confront. I didn't say you got to fix it by tomorrow. I said you have to confront your reasoning so you can be reborn, because that's what's holding you back. It's not the cigarettes. It's deeper than that. It's not the divorce. It's deeper than that. What caused the divorce? We don't ever look at that. We just blame the partner we're with. Why did I get divorced? Why did I lose my rank? Why did I not grow? Why I sit here and be at variance with men? Why? We don't go into the details of it. And because we're not going into the details, it's taking you longer to solve the problem. You get the idea? I'm not saying you're on the right path by trying to make changes. And fighting cigarettes and fighting pork and fighting all these demons we deal with and diminishing and arguing. That's great. Look, that's good. But if you don't know the reason you're doing certain things, then you'll always be a slave to committing and redoing and reprocessing and recreating the same demon. You get a new rib and create a demon in your house. Because you got a new rib, but you didn't solve the reason why you lost your old rib. You want to be honest? You got new brothers, and they're new brothers in the camp, and you're building a friendship with them, but you're not solving why you lost the friendship with the brothers that been here for 5-6 years. Why you lose that? Why you lose their friendship? Why you lose their brotherhood? What about you made you lose that connection? And y'all are sitting here just business associates in the camp. Why that happen? Why don't people trust you? Why are you deemed untrustworthy? What about your character makes you not trustworthy? Is everybody else tripping? Or I have to confront details of myself that cause that inconsistency that makes me untrustworthy? It's my inconsistency that makes me shaky about it. Why am I so inconsistent? Why am I bipolar, whatever polar you want to call it? Why do I keep shifting and alternating as a man? Why am I irresponsible as hell? Why is I can't get up every 3 weeks? I'm late to my job. I can't get to work. I can't maintain responsibility. What about me? Why can I not maintain responsibility? What about me is it? We don't ever get to the roots of the problem. We just attack, well, it's my alarm clock. I was tired the night before. I was up all night on YouTube. I get that. YouTube ain't the problem. Isn't it? You gonna blame YouTube about it? You gonna blame Steve Jobs for the Apple phone he gave you?
Yeah.
Is Steve Jobs' fault out? Or is it, you know what? I have to strap myself because I'm not stimulated. I have to learn how to control my mind. Then let's find out how to control your mind then. How can you learn how to control your own mind? That's the real deal.
I get why that Ecclesiastes 33:5 says the heart of the foot is like a cartwheel. The cartwheel is on the buggy or a wagon and it's going places. But then your mind is like that rolling axe tree or like on a big truck that drive shaft. It keeps spinning.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. That's your mind just spinning fast. You're just spinning your wheels.
I'm thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, but I'm never moving forward to accomplishing a goal.
That insanity.
Listen, we all deal with that in different degrees.
Okay.
All this paralysis by analysis. Super thinking and meditating, but I never saw the problem. How many of us have thought we know our problem, but we never solved it? Now I'd be lying. I'd be lying and lying, I know. But you gonna lie 5-6 years straight? Why would you solve it? If you know you've been lying, why did you solve it? If you knew better, you should do better. That's what we say, right? Why haven't I solved it? Because you're hyper thinking and committing your mind to it, but you're not getting to the root. I'm just surface. I'm thinking about the problems from a surface perspective. All right? So listen, the class can keep going. There's always more scriptures. It's 10:30, obviously. But the understanding of this part of the class was just trying to go into, do you look at the root of the problem that's creating your condition? Do you look at the root of the problem that's creating your condition? I'm going to say it a third time. Not that you didn't hear it, but just to say it. So that I'm trying to plant a question in your mind so over time, this question can get answered in your own personal time. Am I looking at the root of the issue that's causing these repetitive situations that keep happening? I keep repeating history. Rome is collapsing again. Rome collapsed then, and Rome is collapsing now. What about Rome created the collapse? You gotta look at their history. You gotta look at the roots, look at the history, look at the military decisions, look at the financial decisions. If you study history, you'll find out. But that same premise applies to all of us. If I was collapsing a couple months ago, what was the cause of that collapse a couple months ago? And if I'm collapsing now, in the present, why am I collapsing now? Do you take the time to examine yourself properly to see if you're in the faith? We look at the surface problem. This is a bad driver. But you don't look at what's the cause of your bad driving. You don't know that. You don't read the signs, bro. Some brothers don't read the signs. They just drive. They don't look at the signs. In order to be a good driver, you have to be aware of the environment. And they get in car accidents and say, I don't know what happened. This dude cut me off. Well, it cuts you off because you're not aware of the signs around you to control your environment when you're driving. You're not meticulously looking at perfecting how you do your situation or how you operate. I don't want to be super deep. I'm just trying to say, listen, bro, we got to take our issues deeper than just I smoke cigarettes. It's deeper than I just smoke weed. It's deeper than I'm just always in this sensual, insatiable mode. I feel insatiable. What intimacy issues are you dealing with that got you insatiable? Do you feel alone? Is the fear of being lonely that creates this intense sensual nature? What is it? What we're too busy doing is slapping our wrists because of the physical sin. We're not looking at the mental the mental flaw, the mental defect that creates the sin. The false belief that creates the sin. All right? So much appreciation to y'all coming through. Much love. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
All right.